I totally forgot what the intro is.
That's it.
What do I say?
There's no
going back?
No.
What do I always say?
96 episodes.
What do I always say?
And
we're back. Couch Company Podcast.
I'm John. With me as always, Tyler.
Wow.
96. At least I didn't do that at 100.
I don't even. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You might have heard him though in the corner here.
Oh man.
Got a guest. Jeffy boy.
Hello.
What's
Thank you
going
for
on,
having me.
You're always like Jeff is like was telling us he's like nervous to come on here, and then the host just
like
absolutely fucks the whole thing up. So I'm saying you have nothing to be nervous about.
You're
I
just
am
disarming
fumbling.
him. Look at him just taking that bullet for you. We're talking about taking grenades.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, I think my nerves come from.
I can't believe I did that. That's so funny.
I'm not going to mention the game's name. But that is what I'm nervous about. I don't want to mention the game's name that we always end up talking about for an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
That's fair.
This is a horrible start.
It is a horrible start, but that's what I'm afraid of. So I am going to make it my mission to derail any talk of that game if it occurs.
Okay.
Totally. How's the channel doing? What would you play today?
Over at twitch.tv/whatkilledjeff today we played League of Legends.
See how I teed that up?
Actually?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. He set me up.
I can't believe you didn't see that coming.
Blink. You're like, well, today.
But I'm in this really strange phase where I tried Tears of the Kingdom. Not going to say anything bad about it. Just wasn't my cup of tea. We can dive into that later if we want to. And then somebody won the bit war and is having me play Metroid Dread, which is low-key my favorite Switch game I ever played outside of like Hades, right? I'm very, very pleased with Metroid Dread. But today, I feel a little sluggish. We drank a lot last night. I woke up not knowing completely where I was, and then I looked at the bottle of Sailor Jerry, and it was empty, and I got a double quarter pounder from McDonald's, 20-piece nugget, large root beer, and then got home, had some electric lettuce, streamed. Then I had another burger for dinner. I just feel sluggish.
That's an American.
Is electric lettuce drugs?
I had root beer float, with dinner. I just feel so gross right now. But thank you for having me.
It's probably like the 8 cheeseburgers you downed today, man.
Dude, when you say double quarter pounder followed by the 20 nugs, like
that's what it's called, right? The double quarter pounder where there's 2 patties.
Yep.
The 20. My order used to be 5 McChickens, no mayo, add tomato, 20-piece nugget, large fry, double quarter pounder, root beer.
That's an all-American diet,
and
bro.
then a sleeve of Oreos and milk.
Whoa! All at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's nutty.
You're a monster, dude.
That's awesome.
How are you not 1,000 pounds?
I can't really do that anymore, so I did cut my order down to that double quarter pounder, 20-piece nugget, large fry. So I've been shrinking my orders.
How tall are you? 6 what?
6'5".
6'5"? Yeah.
Like 6'5", 260. I should be around 235, 240. So just a little. We're getting there. Progress, not perfection.
Jeff has like the best pecs I've ever felt, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Totally.
He's working them out.
Totally normal thing to say.
Looks pretty good in
dude, yeah, he's wearing this new flamingo shirt. He's rocking
Look at that.
it.
You almost got the like
should wear that tomorrow.
I might.
To the party.
Dude, when your pecs touch, there's nothing better than that, right?
So the only I don't go to the gym. I'm not a gym rat. I don't really exercise, but I do my weight probably fluctuates like everyone else's. I do go down in weight. I go up in weight. But when I do notice myself getting out of that safe zone, hitting the 250, 260, I have a very simple 3-step exercise that I've done probably since I was 18, 19, which is 5 sets of push-ups, 5 sets of curls, and 5 squats. And I've been doing that. It's like a 20-minute exercise. I love it because it's a lot of core, so you don't have to spend a lot of time doing a lot of other things. And that's kind of kept my weight in check a little bit. And I've most recently started carrying, I think I told you guys this, I started carrying cement blocks around my neighborhood.
Yeah. What?
So now people know me as like the cement block guy because they're like, hey, you doing that for exercise? And I'm like, I can't hear you. I have my headbuds in. So I had to take out a headbud or earbud.
Yeah.
They're like, you doing that for exercise? I'm like, yeah. They're like, right on. I'm like, cool. So it's like everyone's like waves to me
You
now.
should tell
Yeah,
them you're
that's
building
awesome.
a wall. You're just getting ready for the flood.
Yeah, right.
He's like, I'm getting ready.
Yeah, he's
Getting
gonna-
ready for what? It's coming.
I feel like if you're carrying cement blocks, you have to have a gruff voice, right? Like you literally can't just speak normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just too badass. at
Like
that
these are
point,
cinder
right?
blocks. Like these are
Yes.
basic ass
Yeah.
cinder blocks. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's
Dude, how
kind
your
of
hands not cut up?
Your grip strength must be
I
nutty.
actually don't know. I do get cuts every once in a while from them, but I think that's part of like the exercise because I tried it with dumbbells and they were just too easy to carry.
Yeah.
Like the cinder blocks offer a challenge where you kind of have to grip and hold with your fingers as well. Like you feel them slipping out of your hands. So there's like this strange like Rocky movie. Like it gets me pumped up to exercise because I'm like, yeah, I'm carrying these cinder blocks around the
dude.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
I don't know. And you guys know me. I do everything like really traditionally. Like I don't like electronics, so I don't want the stupid watch. I just want my cinder blocks.
That's awesome. That is straight from a Rocky movie. Like
Just running upstairs.
you just
with
cut to
them.
Jeff carrying around cinder blocks, and then the Russian guys like fighting a robot or something.
Yeah.
You ever see Rocky IV?
Classic Rocky IV.
You never see Rocky IV, dude?
I don't think so. Not
It's
if there's a robot.
Dude, Rocky's like training in the mountains, and then the Russian guy's like using electronics. He's like on a Peloton. He's like arm wrestling a robot. Or something.
sure.
They're
I'll
measuring
take-
his heart rate and stuff.
Apparently,
it's hilarious.
Creed's supposed to be great.
I like the first one.
Yeah, I like the first one. I don't know if there's more story to tell here. Like, we've seen this a million times.
Yeah,
You know
there's
what I mean?
3 of them.
I understand that. I think we're kind of in Fast and Furious territory here. Like, if you want your comfort Rocky movie,
Right.
we're still trucking. But for me, it's like, okay, I think I'm good.
Who do you think? This gets morbid.
Okay.
But you think Stallone has a long for a dude that big, like his veins just will pop, right? Like at some point, all the
He's
toes
on
just shut
gear
down, right?
100%. So that's going to cut down his life expectancy.
like if you were to take all of like the Expendables characters, what order
well,
do you think they just start dropping?
Isn't it? That's a great question. Who was in the? You'll have to remind me.
Stallone,
Arnold.
Statham, Arnold,
yeah.
your Russian guy,
Russian guy. not
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis is first, right? Isn't he in trouble
Is he?
health wise?
Oh, I don't know.
I
I think
thought
he's
so.
always bald.
I don't know either.
No, but like he like can't act anymore because he's got like Alzheimer's or something.
I don't know. Was I talking to? I think I was talking to Harbin about poor Harrison Ford. I was watching an interview with him, and he's all
Yeah,
like
he looks
shaking
rough.
and stuff. Where it's like, oh, so like what I thought was really good acting on Shrinking, which I don't know if you've seen that yet, but Shrinking's really good. I thought he was just like acting his heart out.
Yeah.
Turns out, probably just him. like
Yeah.
That's not good.
really well cast. He's hilarious in that TV show, but
Yeah.
like between him and watching Tom Hanks pour something, he poured something on some talk show. It was like, I don't know, Jimmy Kimmel or something, and just watching his hand go, I'm just like, man. And that sucks because he was, I don't even know what he was talking about, but all the comments were just like, we must protect him at all
Yeah.
costs. The classic, like, he's national treasure, don't lose him, like that kind of thing. And it's like, man, that sucks. I don't know.
Time's
Anyway.
moving forward, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's gonna come for us all.
I was very surprised by the Harrison Ford, especially when
Yeah.
seeing him in that show. I was like, wow, that is not indie, anymore.
Right.
That one really.
Well, I wonder. Speaking of which, how that movie's gonna be.
We got a month, right? June. I think
Yeah.
it comes out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be good.
I
There's
wonder
no way.
how much time it's going to be Harrison Ford and how much of it is just like
Stunt doubles.
we just CGI'd the heck out of
Oh.
and like did all the like the deep fake stuff and things like that because it's all over the map.
Do
with
you
that.
think they're incorporating that? And
that was in the trailer?
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Oh my
didn't know that.
God, that's crazy.
There is no way he looked that good in the movie. No way.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, what are we doing at this point? It's just such a cash grab.
we're clutching, man. There's
Dude,
nothing.
We don't need another Indiana Jones movie. There's just no purpose.
What's new? Like, what's new that
I
has
was
come
thinking
out?
about that. What is the best movie to come out in
like
recent
new?
times that is original?
It's like a new property.
Yeah.
So I think about this a lot.
Okay.
When I go to the movies, the theater, one thing that I'm always sad about.
Films.
Yes, the cinema.
The cinema.
I'm always kind of reflective during the movie trailers at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, I should go to the movies more. And you know how you do the thing like, that movie looks great. That movie looks pretty good. We should go see that. And you completely forget about the titles. They just kind of go away. They don't get as much, media. I think there are a lot of good movies out there, especially when you start digging into like the indies. And I would be very interested to talk to like a cinema buff, somebody who's up to date, because I think there are a lot of good movies that come out regularly that we don't know about. That's my theory.
I would agree with you on that, but I think to kind of compound what I was saying was more of like, when is the next Star Wars?
Yeah.
Like how many?
Yeah.
Like Dune was the last one that was like, hey, you like the Star Wars and the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Dune is the next one of those, and it's like, okay, like come
Wow,
on.
Hey, the research department might.
Sure,
Might have a-
I would love the research department to in writing be like, yes, the Dune movie was
is
better
next,
than
yeah.
Lord of the Rings or
Episode
Star Wars.
4.
Dude,
Yeah.
he likes the new ones even. I can't imagine him
Well,
liking.
you got to think of it this way. It's so hard to be that next
you can't
one
you can't
because it's
call
like
yourself that.
in 1970 whatever when New Hope came out. It's like that no one has ever seen special effects like that. It absolutely changed the game. Like, what would that look like today? We've come so far where it's like we've seen the CGI, and like, let's say it's the most incredible CGI we've ever seen in our life. Like, is that gonna have the same reaction as like
no,
the
that's like
first
that's
Star
Avatar.
Wars? Right, exactly. Like Avatar looked really good, I heard,
Yeah.
and that it's not. People aren't going to see that 10 times. You know what I mean?
I think
Maybe some
it
people, I
starts
don't
to veer into, we're definitely hitting that technological brick wall. But with the incorporation of the tech, I think it comes down to how do we implement this better and how stylish can we get? I think we see, okay, now the technology is kind of fading. We know what to expect. We know what it looks like. Who's pulling off like an awesome scene? Who has a really good angle or camera shot? Like there are people that are still coming up with new camera rigs, different ways to shoot things, or even like one of my favorite movies is the Grand Budapest Hotel. I love that movie, and the use of color in that movie is masterful. So I think it's just how you pull off the style of your movie and how it flows from scene to scene. I think there's like an art there, and it's almost like a song. Like you're the musician, I don't know anything about music, but you have this note that goes to this note, and there's a nice, what's this called? For the listeners, I'm trying to make like a wavy
Wave
wave with
rhythm.
my arms.
Good flow.
Yeah, like a good flow to
Sure.
it. So I think that's the future.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's infinite possibilities, right? So very much like music, you're never gonna run. Like, there will always be unique ways you go about and approach it.
John Wick.
I'd count it.
But I think John Wick's a great example. We've had action movies like that, same premise forever since stories have been told. But John Wick is fresh because like the choreography in those,
Yeah.
probably some of the best we've ever seen. You know what I mean? Especially like just watching them all again, it's like, wow, that is like go back and watch your favorite action movie from whatever time period. It's like they were not.
You realize the Matrix might not be the greatest
Right,
thing in the world.
exactly.
Whoa,
It's
whoa,
like
whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy.
It's good.
It is
It
amazing,
might
but,
not
like,
be the best thing ever.
talk about like so clean. It kind of reminds me. We were talking about this yesterday, like Demon Slayer. Yeah, classic shonen plot. Like we've seen this a million times, but the animation is unbelievable, and that's why it's like a 10 out of 10 for me. Because it's like, yeah, okay, like the story isn't anything crazy, but this very important piece of the entertainment of this show is like peak.
Yeah, and
know what I mean?
I would like to have a conversation with you a little bit. Let me do some research and talk about anime fight choreography, because it is so interesting to follow the people that are in charge of those shots. It's not like, hey, this person on Naruto does all the choreography for every Naruto fight. Like, people move through the anime industry from project to project, and you can follow their choreography style from show to show. It's super cool to research, and yeah, that Demon Slayer has, I would say at least 3 really good fights. The best fight I think I've ever saw was the Boruto fight, the one with him and Sasuke, and
Naruto and Sasuke, or Boruto and Sasuke.
it's Naruto, Sasuke, and Boruto.
Okay.
Towards the beginning, it's like during the first arc in Boruto. That fight still blows my mind. But okay, I'm not gonna talk
Imagine
about
if you could end every fight with one punch.
Dude, One Punch Man, like I will say, especially season 1, dude.
The best anime? Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's
great fights. My favorite fight in One Punch actually is this might be a surprise. It's Saitama and Genos. When Genos is like, I gotta see how strong you are. They're in the middle of the wasteland and he's just whooping the floor. Like Genos is just going all out, can't touch this guy.
Yeah.
And then he just ends it in one punch, just stops right in front of his face, looks behind him, a mountain gone. That was like that was so sick. But that season 1 especially was a really well animated. I think that's a good. I don't know anything about, like, this is up your alley, right? Like the art style, like you can probably understand and spot those minute details more. I'm kind of just like, whoa, dude, it's so cool. But I would love to, like, have a more in-depth conversation about that. I think anime's so good. Talk about peak fiction.
See, what you should do is both of you come with your top 5 fights.
Yeah.
And then I'll watch them all.
That's
and then I'll tell you what the top 5 is.
Okay.
It's like, I think
the real list.
Yeah, I'll let you know if you're right or wrong.
Yeah, right. I just picked one punch. I think, well, it's like interesting. It's like, I think you're talking more about the style and the animation itself, but something I incorporate, like when I'm thinking about my favorite fights, is like the story behind, like what's the meaning behind this fight. Because like I was talking about Hunter x Hunter as one of my favorite fights of all time, because I just think like the stakes they go into, like you like learn about this character's backstory in the midst of this fight, and this character's like one of those classic, like, oh, he's like the big strong guy. Everyone knows like he's super strong. So this is the first time we see him in action and actually having to try. And you're like, oh shit, yeah. So like we all knew this. It was so good.
My only question is, would the Goku Frieza fight, the first one, be on your list? On Planet
It's so
Namek?
tough because like you go back and it's like, okay, this is like, it's the worst pacing I've ever seen in my life, but it's so iconic. Like Goku's pose when he turns Super Saiyan for the first time is the most iconic shit. Like where he's turning around.
I would say it's almost up there with the Akira slide. Like I think the Akira slide is higher,
of course,
but I think the Goku transformation is.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Is so iconic that you just
once you see once you see the first Akira slide, you notice it in everything.
Yep. Dude, it was so funny. This is a little foreshadowing. We'll be talking about the showcase, the PlayStation showcase later. And I was watching Maximilian Dude's stream. Do you know who that is?
No.
You know, okay.
Max.
He's a big streamer.
And I only watch one streamer.
What Killed Jeff?
What Killed Jeff.
Yes, sir. There was like this one trailer where this motorcycle's like driving down a building, and he's like,
yeah,
I'll give the audience 10 gift subs if he does an Akira slide. So I was like, that's awesome. It's just so iconic. But yeah,
we'll talk about that one because I'm actually excited about that one.
I don't know if I'd put Goku Frieza in there, but it's so legendary. I don't know. I'd have to think. That would be a tough list.
That's one that it's like you consider it on your list just due to how big and impactful that was, and it got so many. It's like, this is an introduction to anime. This was what you saw as a kid. Yep. This was a hype moment. I remember being like, what episode are we on? Are they still going? And you go to the schoolyard and be like, yo, did you guys see Goku? Wait, they're still going? And then, wait, Frieza's got another form? It was like crazy.
Dude, I'll never forget Toonami, where they would show Dragon Ball Z like 10 o'clock at night. Him turning Super Saiyan for the first time was the craziest shit. As a kid, you cannot even wrap your mind. Like, transformations didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
And it just blew your mind. And then there's so many classic moments. Krillin dying, Vegeta dying, everyone dies. Frieza kills everyone.
What's his face turning into a giant monkey?
Nope. Close, though. Does he turn into a monkey there?
Yeah.
Who?
No.
Goku or Gohan does.
Not there. Not a Namek.
Oh, I don't know. I just remember that was a big
That
deal.
was a big
whatever.
moment.
It's like, oh, he's turning.
Yeah. Like him doing a spirit bomb.
That was cool.
That was cool. Oh man, there's nostalgia rushing back. Anyways, I don't know.
Speaking of owning the story,
Yeah.
you're the DM for our.
I
Oh,
love
wow.
I love that transition.
Can't-
That was you. You went in the bag there. The bag of
rustled
holding
around.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we'll pull it.
I am the DM of a campaign of which you participate in. Both of you.
and
I-
we've been giving feedback.
Yeah. I
Talking
implore
about it.
everyone to go on Twitter, on Jeff's Twitter, and see. He's been making props for like our sessions.
Yeah.
So he made this like haunted house we were in, and like the basement.
Did you see the letter?
Yeah, I don't
There's
know
a
what that
letter. We
is.
didn't get
That
the-
little
we didn't get the letter yet.
Foreshadowing, I guess. Uh-oh.
Here's the thing about the letter. You guys missed the letter like 6 times.
No way.
And I've been waiting to post those pictures to Twitter because I'm like, when are they going to find the letter? And
Yeah.
I didn't want to post it and
Isn't
you
that-
guys see it and be like, what the fuck's the letter?
Yeah.
I kind of like that. 'cause
I'm sorry.
we're
Are
all
we allowed to
speculating.
curse on this podcast?
Yeah.
Just try to keep it low.
Sure. No, you can do whatever you want.
I curse all the
I
time.
just catch myself every once in a while.
I'm worried that my family will someday listen to this and be like,
sorry.
"Ah,
Tyler's family's not. They
They
don't
don't
me.
care."
I was trying to see if you guys come across it before I posted it on Twitter because I didn't want you guys to be like, what the fuck's that?
Yeah.
Like I wanted there to be like this reveal.
Yeah.
Because it is an important piece.
Yeah.
You guys just haven't come across it yet.
Okay.
So
If we missed it 6 times and we're on our 6th campaign, that's our 6th episode.
you did pass it more. It might have been more than 6 times.
Oh, wow.
So
I cannot believe. I
I
thought we did a good job.
I
going
was
through
there.
it.
Yeah.
Listen, I was licking my lips. I was like, go there. Go there, you little shits.
You see a gleam from the door. Yeah.
Oh, I hit this rock. That's
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I moved this piece of paper aside and see what's in this rubble.
Anyways, so I implore everyone to check that out. What's your Twitter handle?
What killed Jeff?
Yeah, What Killed Jeff, at What Killed Jeff. It's awesome. Jeff did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
It looks amazing. So check that out. And I would be really excited because I think the post is like, do you guys want me to do this on stream, show you how it's done? That would be an awesome stream to watch. Anyways, I was really curious because this is your first campaign.
This is indeed my first campaign.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to gauge like where you're at, how you feel it's going, what you like about DMing, the challenges you're facing, things like that.
Yeah, great question. What challenges am I facing?
It's like, well, I'm about to quit.
Yeah, it's the whole podcast.
No. I am absolutely having a fantastic time. One of the things that I did not anticipate as a challenge was the amount of different personalities. This is not like sitting down playing a board game. This is not something that you walk. This is something that an event happens during the campaign. Different personalities will carry that what happened, whether it was a good or bad thing, into the next session. Remember when it's difficult to keep all those personalities either on track or invested or just calm, because we usually do drink pretty heavily during these
Okay, let's not
sessions.
mince words. When you're saying personalities, you're talking about the people that you are DMing are
Yes.
all different
They are all different.
in real life and in character form.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes. This is more along the lines of, I think, handling
You could put this on
the
us.
people.
You could- yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm not putting it on you, but that was something that I didn't even anticipate was going to be something to think about.
Yeah.
I really did not realize that this is like kind of trying to make a group of people work.
Right.
And that I didn't even account for.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenge. Like, I've DM'd a couple times, and it's extremely hard. Like nobody understands until they do it. But yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges because everyone has. When they're making your own character, you're so attached to it. They have their own idea and vision what that's going to be, and it's always like when it comes together, it's different than what you imagine it because everyone's creating the story together. That me and Tyler have talked about this quite a bit, where that's why I almost don't go too much into my backstory when I'm creating my
Yeah.
characters because I want that flexibility And I want to feel that out when we actually start role playing with each other to like pivot. Because if you're so rigid, you have like 8 pages of backstory, and I know people love doing that, and I think that can definitely work. It's tough when it's like, oh, you know, I know my character at every detail. They're not going to do this, and then it's hard to gel sometimes with the party. But
one of the things that this is my first campaign, but I'm drawing a lot of. What do you say? I'm drawing a lot of lines or what's that word? Where
parallels?
You connect parallels. Thank you.
Math.
I'm drawing a lot of parallels.
Art comes from math.
Parallel lines.
Come from math.
Nah.
I would say
debate that.
design. Yeah. I would say
No.
Design.
No. Okay, I'm not going to go down that route. I'm sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'm drawing a lot of parallels to things I've done in the past.
Yeah.
So I was a teacher, right? And you guys all make the jokes like, what's our homework assignment, Mr. Campese? Because I do give you guys homework assignments and things like that. I make you do things that may or may not be beneficial to the campaign that are not just playing D&D.
Like we washed your car.
Yeah, washing my car, laundry.
Calculus.
But I do find that in my friend group, I'm not sitting here claiming like I'm the leader of the friend group because there is no leader of the friend group. But if there's something to be organized, I do tend to fall into that organization role. And then whenever we played WoW, I don't want to connect this to WoW, but I was a guild and raid leader for years. And I would be like, I think I might have mentioned this on the podcast. I used to call like 35-year-old married men's house and be like, hey, talk to his wife, like on a dial phone, or what's it, dial tone phone? What's the word it was called?
Rotary?
The ones where you used to actually dial the number.
Yeah, landline.
Landline?
Landline. And be like, hey, is Paul getting on to raid?
How do I have to tell you guys about this?
No,
I should know what that is.
But I'm like, why? But I was like 17. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, and so this woman's like, why the heck is this kid calling our house asking for my husband to get on the computer?
We're
like
getting a divorce.
But guild leading and raid leading I'm super similar to a lot of stuff that I encounter DMing for Dungeons and Dragons, and it's a lot of handling those personalities. One of the things that I'm really trying to do, and I haven't really seen a lot of results from this, but I want it to be very well known that you can come to me if something isn't working, because I don't want it to fester and I want to move beyond it. Because I do want this to be a successful campaign, but I also don't mind if it fails. Like, I am having such a good time with it. Like, I almost don't care if you guys are having fun because I'm having so much fun. And I was talking to Jon about this a little bit. It actually has inspired me to pick up some things that I haven't done in like over a decade. I have not made any art since I left college. It crushes me all the time. And making those props is probably the first artistic thing outside of miniature painting that I've done, you know, again, since I left college. And it just reinvigorated me. It really feels like this is the path that I want to be on. And this is getting like way out of D&D, but in life, I want to make art. That is it. Like, I don't want to have a 9-to-5 job. I know that sounds so silly. Oh, Jeff doesn't want to have a 9-to-5 job, but I truly do not think that is in my future. So this has really kind of set me in like this weird kind of flow state that I'm absolutely loving, just for me. And I, you know, you guys are talking about the props and things like that. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed them. I didn't know if I was going to show up and like put them on the table and be like what the hell is this? But that's also part of the challenge is what props am I going to make? The house took like, I don't know, like 30 hours. The little scenic thing took another 6 hours. Like the note probably took 6 hours too. So trying to plan out what you guys are going to encounter, and you have to start on the props, you know, 3 to 4 weeks in advance to get them done in time. So like I'm already working on props for, you know, a session we might never even get to. So
wow, that's awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry for ranting.
No, that's like I know like we were messaging each other. That was like so awesome to hear that like, it kind of reignited your passion again with that, which is just totally awesome. I think we can all, especially at this table, can relate to that, right? Where we kind of get away from some of those things because we've all been in like the artistic field, right?
Yeah. And you get like bored easy, right? So the thing is like this is an outlet. Largely, I mean, like week to week, like you have kind of this overarching like plot line and different things like that. But like every week, I feel like we're learning more about characters or story or whatever, and like who knows where we're going to be next session, that sort of thing. So I like the idea of it's like an outlet. You're still being like a character. You're still designing for like the overall thing, but it is so new each time. You don't necessarily get like bored of it, if that makes sense. And then as a character, like you get to be able to grow as well. So like, we started, it's like, okay, you have kind of how you're playing your guy, I'm playing my guy and everything and stuff. Like even in the past like 6 sessions, like you've completely changed, not completely changed, but like you've really grown into the character and kind of enveloped that character. And it's just like seeing how everyone starts to interact with each other and like friendships are made and different like alliances or like mistrusts and different things happen. Like I think it's awesome. I think artistically speaking, I know where we all stand in terms of like what we want out of D&D, right? Which is just role play and have fun and just goof off. And it's like you can't win, right, or lose or whatever. It's just like, so like you talk about it failing. Like the only failing would be like we're just not playing anymore. Like it's not, So it's just it's good. It's a good like we do it every Thursday. By Thursday, it's just like I need some creativity in my life. I need some sort of creative outlet, and I think it's great. Yeah.
Thanks.
I look forward to it every week. I know it's still early. We're only 6 sessions in. It might be my favorite campaign already that I've ever played. I just think, Jeff, I'm about to gas you up real big here, but just how you approach the game, and I think your teaching background is so perfect for this. Like, I am definitely, like, if I DM in the future, going to steal it. Like, I love the weekly assignments, how we have to critically think about our characters, how we have to submit things to you. Like you did this like role playing event with us. That's like right up my alley. That's exactly what I want to see. I'm all about the story and like thinking about those kinds of things. And just how you organize it. I think it's just fantastic. So I am personally loving it. I think it's fantastic. I know that we move pretty like at a slow pace. And sometimes as the DM, I know you can feel like, we're not getting far and like, I'm not being successful because we're not progressing through the book. But I truly think like if you're role playing, I have so many like memories already from these first couple sessions in this first dungeon of just these little things and interactions with other characters that is like, this is what the game's about, right? And this isn't in the book.
I have a ton of fun watching you guys play. It is like so mind bending what you like. You gassed me up. I'm gonna gas you guys up. Like you guys truly, these characters, I'm like already so attached to, and I think one of my favorite parts is this might sound like a lie. I promise it's not a lie. I learned so much about you guys as people, the way you play your characters, the way you approach the assignments. Like it and it's interesting to see. Like I didn't. Your cousin has like some very interesting takes on my homework assignments, and they're seriously, everyone does things different. Like everyone interprets my instructions just a little bit differently, and you get vastly different results from those interpretations. And you guys are doing a fantastic job. I am trying to make it not too overwhelming. I think I am trying to pump the brakes a little bit on some of the homework assignments. That's why I kind of make it optional. Some will not be optional. Some will be required. But I want to make sure that I'm bringing a flexibility to the game. Like last session yesterday, some of the people, everyone did an explanation of how they leveled up, right? So the whole party went from level 1 to level 2. That was your suggestion, John. You said you really liked it when you explained like, oh, my wizard went from 1 to 2. He went from level 1 to 2 by reading this book and experimenting with this incantation or this or that. That was super cool to go around the table. But when that was first brought up, Nate said he doesn't like doing that because X, 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 X. Okay, well, there are some people who might enjoy that. Let's give them, their 5 minutes of fame before the session starts, just to tell us how they see their character leveling up. It's not a requirement. You don't have to do it. But if you want to, why not? It doesn't have to be a full commitment from every other table. But if it's a part of role playing that somebody enjoys, let them do it. So I'm trying to bring that flexibility to a lot of the things at the table, just so if somebody's personality doesn't go towards that part of D&D, I don't want them to feel pushed. But if somebody else wants to do it, go for it.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect balance. And I just speaking for myself at least, I enjoy the assignments so much because it just gets me out of my comfort zone. Like I would never make a image board for my character. Like that's
the mood board.
The mood board. Like that's something that Jon would never do and I've never done, but it was fun having to think about that and finding the images and
Meanwhile, I'm getting
it.
PTSD because another mood board.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't sleep. Yeah.
Fine. Every campaign we do a mood board.
Yeah. And I don't know, that was a lot of fun and
sorry, work campaign, not D&D.
Right.
Yeah, but
and for mine, I try to think about Milo's musical theme with it. So I was listening to a bunch of music. So it was just totally a lot of fun.
Go ahead, Tyler.
No, it's tough because you do have people that when they're looking at their characters and stuff, they're almost looking at it from I want to end here. I know I want to be this paladin, warlock, dual class, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have this spell. This is my build. This is how I'm going to be a god, right? So it's tough as a DM because you have to cater to them, but then you also have to cater to people where I don't know what happens after level 5. So I've never gotten past a level 5 barbarian. I don't look that's the whole thing. Is it's just I want no understanding of it. Where it's even a level 5 is going to look very different. I hope in this campaign than the campaign that we got to level 5 in at Josh's or whatever. So it's stuff like that where it's how can you bridge that gap? Because it's you have to make concessions, right? So I don't envy that part of a DM part.
It's that's totally opposite sides of the spectrum, right? And the beauty of D&D is there's not one right way to play it. Everyone has their own vision of it, and they're correct in their own interpretation of the game. And min-maxing is a totally legitimate way to play. You want to see the numbers go up. You want to be a badass. I can respect that. But yeah, I don't know how you approach something like that. Do you think about, how to incorporate that so everyone gets what they want out of the game?
I never think about it ever. That part of it, I'm not the numbers guy. I think that is one thing that's very clear. This being my first campaign as a DM, I actually do. That is my homework assignment all the time is can I try to brush up on these rules, because I don't want you guys coming to me with questions that I'm not having to answer. The nice part of that is there's 2 other people or at least 3 other people at the table who have DM'd, and they can just help me out on a simple issue. But usually when you guys are talking about character stuff, in terms of numbers, leveling up, I don't really look at that. I kind of take a Tyler approach of if you need help, let's work it out. I can certainly look into it. I can get you an answer. But you guys leveling up, you guys approaching your characters, all I can do is give you the tool sets that I'm comfortable with, and that's more of the homework assignments, getting into character, things that I might find on the internet. So I just try to bring what I am excited about to the table. If I was playing Dungeons and Dragons, these are the things that I would want my DM making me do. Because you did say kind of get people out of their comfort zone. If you hate me because of a DM thing or a Dungeons and Dragons thing that I make you do, I don't care. That doesn't bother me at all. I feel like it's part of my job to try to push you a little bit. And I said at the very beginning of the campaign, if something isn't working, let me know. And these assignments, I understand that not all of them are going to hit. That's part of it. But I think some of them are hitting, especially from some of the feedback that I get. I'm really interested to see everyone's constructive criticism cards that I had you do yesterday because I haven't read them yet. So I'm really excited to look those up. But
yeah, but see, here's the thing. Even from, and I forget how I worded it because I know, like, I was trying to write it, and I didn't even drink anything at that point. I was like, I'm not making any sense. Like, in my mind, I am, but it's one of those, like, I feel like when we get into a run, it takes one time, right? So it takes one slime dropping off a ceiling or one trap going off that, like, oh, I almost died there, and then it's almost like everything just like grinds to a halt because now it's like, I look everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna walk, but I'm gonna walk like really super cautiously. So if there's any trap, you have to tell me there's a trap there because I'm gonna see it. So it's like stuff like that where it's like, to me, that's always the thing that I just get bored with. Where it's just like, I don't care, man. Like, I'm not gonna do this in real life. Like, I'm walking through this door. And that's why, like, I think I must have set off every trap in every room where, like, spiders are jumping out at you and slugs are jumping out at you and skeletons are animating and attacking you. So it's like, that's fine. Like, whatever. But it's one of those things, like, it's a tough thing, and I don't think we use it enough. Like, in all the campaigns we've done with, like, the passive perception, the passive understanding of stuff, you're just like, this is stuff that you just automatically know.
Yeah.
And I've never felt that click just in anyone doing it, right? Where it's just like, okay, you walk in here, this is kind of what you see, and it's like, yeah, but does everybody see the exact same thing? Or it's like, how can you say, like, okay, hey, John, you actually see this extra thing because you just know that, like, you're naturally more gifted at seeing something, or whoever the elves are can suddenly see, like, they notice elvic runes or something like that, elven runes. So that's the kind of stuff that I would like to say. That was a spoiler. That's like one of my, like, not criticisms. It was just like to keep things moving forward more quickly and to kind of like get where you want. I feel like that could be implemented to a certain degree. But then as we're talking, it's just like, yeah, but as we're like dilly-dallying around or talking and doing these things, like, that's where a lot of like the relationships are strengthened and a lot of like the dialogue is happening and the funny bits and different things like that. So it's like, I also don't want to lose that. So it's a tough tightrope to walk. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I would say, I don't know if I wrote this on the card because I know I talked to Jeff previously about, some of my criticisms. And, like, I want the record to state I love the game overall. It's fantastic. Yeah, I think we kind of get bogged down sometimes. Like, the thing about D&D is failing and losing is, like, sometimes the greatest part of the game.
Dude, I spent an inspiration just carrying a keg up the stairs.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no.
What did I spend mine on?
That's what I'm doing. Because I know I'm going to be asleep the rest of the campaign. I don't care.
I spent mine on, like, a Freudian slip.
Yes.
In front of the magistrate, which is probably a bigger one. But then I failed again. That did worse.
Because that is so just
it was perfect.
Dependent on, like, it's like, no, my character has to do this or he is a failure and
like,
he'll ruin him.
Right. It's so in character. Like, me doing that is like he's 10. Like, he's gonna not remember. He's gonna slip. You know what I mean? But yeah, so, like, I guess my thing too is, and I don't think I wrote this on the cards, so I wanted to maybe address it
let me make a note.
Like, we get bogged down in, like, really trying to win sometimes. You know what I mean?
Like technicalities.
Like little technicalities. I try to be, so, like, if I ever do this, I want someone to call me out on this as well. Where it's like, I think, like, holding your ground and maybe arguing your position sometimes is totally valid, but I think overall, it's okay to lose. It's okay to get robbed. It's okay to get one shot. Like, I got one shot in the dungeon and I'm like, oh, this is a fantastic storytelling opportunity for my character. Like, what growth I'm going to go through. This is like his first setback, an insane setback that's like going to define who he becomes. So that's kind of what I like to see. I think I agree with your point where, like, things like that sometimes really slow it down too when we're kind of maybe harping on one thing a little bit too much. So that's kind of something I would want to see, just maybe more relaxed. Like, it's okay. We'll bounce back, guys. We're you know what I mean?
It's tough too, because, like, I know, like, we always want something to be, like, woven into the story. So, like, we might do something, like, a couple, sessions back when it was like, okay, are we leaving the house and going back to town or not or whatever, and it's just going back and forth. And it's like, okay, like, at some point, like, we're pulling ourselves out of the game and putting it into, like, a group setting of, like, this sucks splitting up. How can we make this work?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that's right or wrong, because it's like, okay, but your characters aren't necessarily doing this. So I think we finally like got there.
Yeah.
But it's like, is that pulling? So like how if we're harping on more of like the numbers part of it or the statistical part of it, and that's pulling us out of the game. If then we turn around and we try to like retcon stuff to make it fit narratively better, does that then pull other people out of the game? So it's like this kind of give and take of like, I don't want to be selfish of like everything has to fit the story at every point, including like, yeah, I know, Nate, you want to be able to morph into a dragon, but you can't because a deer makes more sense or whatever. I don't want to limit him either, right?
Yep.
So it's like,
It's a great
I feel
point.
like it's like we have to like grow to and be okay that like, yeah, this might not make
It's
sense.
just like,
just
there's plot hole.
whatever.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point.
I don't know.
Something I didn't consider.
I think just going back to, those bogged down moments that we all recognize. Like we know as soon as I wouldn't say as soon as they hit, but they are very easily recognizable. That just harkens back to the 6 different personalities. There are 6 people at this table. When do I have to use my teacher voice that and seriously, I because I don't want to be that person. Like we can all agree, the part of this is to sit down, have a chuckle, have a couple of beers with the friends, and just have a good time. But at the same point, if we do get bogged down because of something, and do I need to take a more serious tone and become serious and disciplinary? The disciplinarian over the D&D table, I do have that role. So it is hard.
Yeah, nobody. We get it.
I've been there, man.
But then to that point though, like we're giving you all this feedback. What's the feedback for us then? You know what I mean? Like what can we do better to make your life
I don't think you can.
easier?
I don't think I don't have any feedback for you guys except for what I told. This is such a weird, like, it's gonna sound like really backwards, but John asked me the same question: what can I do better because he reached out to me, which was super kind, and was like, hey, as a DM, it was like after one of our rough sessions, I just want to make sure you're having a good time as well. Is there anything I can do to help you? I really appreciated that text message because I was like, wow, like I've never received a text message like that.
I've been there where it's like you feel so pressured as a DM that everyone's having fun that you realize I am miserable right now. Like it's literally happened because it's like, being a DM, like people don't understand. It's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
It's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of pressure. Like everyone has an expectation. They all look to you. I mean, and it can be brutal.
And you have to side with people.
Yes.
Like at some point you have to make a ruling.
Well, and to answer how I answered John was the best thing you can do as a player to help me is to be giving me that feedback and don't sit on it. Like text me. If you don't feel comfortable texting me, grab another person who might share that view and be 2v1 because I need to know how you're feeling about something, especially if it's negative. And I think this is one of the few similarities that Nate and I have in common. But in this type of role, like you can't really offend me if I'm doing something wrong because I'm having so much fun with it. Like I'm not going to be hurt. My feelings aren't going to be hurt. And if it is something related to like another team member, I think that as a teacher, I'm very good at the compliment hamburger or whatever you want to call it, one good thing, one bad thing, one good thing, everybody hugs and goes home. So that's the only thing that I ask of you guys is to just be honest with me because I think that's how we'll have the most fun. And I'm really excited. I know next session there's going to be drama. So just come prepared.
And I'm excited because
based on the story or just like where we left off?
Based on what's going to happen, and it might not be next session because what you said about going slow. I'm thinking in my head you're going to be at this point at the end of next session. Maybe it'll take 3 sessions to get to this point, but you guys will all know when the drama's about to hit because you will know immediately. I can't wait to see everyone's face. I cannot wait.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'm excited.
But it is story related.
Okay.
But see, that's the thing is like, I thought like really enjoyed last night. And maybe it's just because all the pressure was off me because I was just sleeping literally the entire time. But like even that, the fact that like I literally didn't do anything.
I thought
like,
last
late night
was really
just
fun.
like just weren't a part of that campaign. But like it was so entertaining watching everything else and like understanding it. But then back in my mind, I was like, okay, I can't know any of this has gone on.
Yeah.
Like I have to like this is all gonna be new to me. So like I like that challenge of all right, you're coming to me and whatever you guys say to my character is the information that I can respond to.
Yep.
So like personally, I love that.
Yeah.
Like I'm so excited to just wake up and then laugh at you. Yeah, just like, all right, well, we're going back to get the head of the dude we need to get the bounty of or whatever. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I'll say too, like, I know you were kind of, you set the expectation. This is going to be a chill night. I don't know how long this is going to be. I think with this group, dude, you could literally have almost nothing planned and it's going to be filled with, like, we will be doing things.
Yeah.
Because, like, I just think we have such a great group. Like, Dwayne is one of the best role players I've ever played with, which is, I didn't expect that for some reason, but he's, like, amazing.
And he moves the story.
Oh,
so,
my
like,
gosh.
that's the thing is, like,
Fantastic.
he's like, all right, I'm going here. Like, we're just going to do it.
And he plays off everyone so well.
Yeah.
I love playing with Dwayne. But honestly, everyone is so fantastic. I just love the group dynamic.
I think, I mean, you were talking about like and I know we got to kind of move on to from the state of this to the state of Sony. But I think you need to get that. I might even look at some hourglasses. And I feel like we need an hourglass of like, hey, here's everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourself. This is your time, and then you have to move to another location. Or you have to do, and like, I don't think you need it for like the entire thing. I think that like after so long, we just naturally will get into that flow. But I think we can just get so caught up like discussing or talking through all the possibilities of everything that like no one would do in real life.
Yeah.
Where like that's why I was like, I'm going to the pub, and then it was like, I'm hurting. See ya. Like I don't do whatever you want with the boat, the contraband, whatever. And I think that like we just need like that nudge from the DM of like, hey, you guys have been talking about this for a while. And like if there's good conversation, obviously let it go. But if it's just like arguing back and forth of like, well, I think we should do this or this or this or this, I think the two things are you're pushing the story forward. And the other thing that I think is going to be a challenge on your end, and maybe also sort itself out, but like keeping Nate and I with the group. That's the thing that I'm most worried about. Is because as far as my character goes, I did the thing. Now, I haven't got paid yet, so that's going to keep me linked up to you guys for a little bit. And I like that, like, you think that we're like best friends, right? So like you're like Milo's all like super
he
buddy
will
buddy.
be heartbroken if the party
Right.
breaks
So
up.
like I like that type of some connection there, where like even if it's not like story driven per se, we built enough of a relationship or there's enough of a thing that if you introduce just like one other thing or one other stitch, you're smirking, so I'm sure there's something there. Like that's what I'm going to be focusing on is like, okay, how can we keep the party together that makes sense to me? Because up to this point, and I probably honestly say this, I mean, maybe your campaign at one point and like Josh's campaign whenever we were like making up characters and whatnot, but like this is the first time where I'm like, okay, I have a motivation. I was hired to do this thing. I'm going to do it. And like, everything I've done so far, I felt like emotionally invested in, and that's largely the first time that that's happened in a D&D campaign. So like, I don't want to lose that. I love that. Also, real quick,
Go.
This BS of, hey, if you want to do extra credit and do the homework assignment, let me know. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that, Mr. Campisi. Okay, and if you don't do it, you're going to get 2 disadvantage on your next roll. Like,
right.
I'm sorry,
You
what?
have
That's
now-
not how extra credit
Once
works.
you
have
opting
now
in,
opted in.
that's-
Yeah, like-
once you opt into, okay, because
That's a Lucifer contract. That's like I own your soul now.
that was brutal.
That's like, man.
It was brutal. I am super pumped for that.
Oh,
This
I'm
assignment's gonna be
100% doing
awesome.
it, but I was dying.
But
I was
do
that
you
like,
guys
was
like that
so cute.
exercise, or do you think it's just
I think
curious?
it's
It was
awesome.
amazing.
It's gonna be awesome.
This new one, or
I am.
This new one's gonna be
I am so excited.
oh, good,
Yeah.
good.
I want to go hard, but I don't have the artistic talent Like I don't know.
I was looking up like,
Yeah.
okay, how is the Orcish alphabet like?
I don't know how to get
Work and-
parchment and stuff.
Yeah, it's
I
not
have
going to be.
some if you want
It's
some.
not going to be that.
I'll bring it to.
But I was like, I
tomorrow.
have some pretty creative ideas, especially with my magic quill. That might be fun. But yeah, anyways.
Just for the audience, so Jeff, which is now a mandatory thing, so we have to
opted in.
we have to write a letter to an NPC,
Yeah.
and essentially create a person in the game. And I think that is, and we've talked about this with like a previous campaign where like we're making crewmates and different things like that. Like, talk about building this like ownership of the world.
Yeah.
But in real time, where it's like, okay, hey, like it's not just like backstory. It's like you're interacting with something and you're breathing life into something that then the DM can take and mold into like what he needs. I think it's brilliant. So
I was really proud of this one because some of like the mood board I didn't look it up, but I saw another DM do it, Ginny D. She's kind of popular on the YouTubes. So I was watching some of her videos and how she approaches DMing. But this exercise was kind of like, I didn't look it up. I was like, oh, this is something that I would do. I'm going to make them do it. And I don't know if they're going to hate me for it or not. But the thought behind it being required. So hear me out. Last night I said, the homework is voluntary. I did not announce what it was. And I said, if you message me you want the homework, you have to do it. Because here's my thought process was, as soon as I make somebody actually write this out, because this has to be handwritten, right? This is not, you're not sending me on this Discord. Do not send it on Discord. Do not text me. Do not send me a Google Doc. You're putting ink to paper. This is what I love. I love old school. I don't want to be typed something. I want you to feel the pen. I want you to write it. You know, try to feel like you're the character, writing the letter to an NPC you create and establishing some type of relationship, whether it is a financial relationship, it could be a sexual relationship, it could be an old family member. It's up to you. And I thought I was really proud of this one. But that was the thing, is like, I didn't want people hearing the assignment and then bailing, because then that's not right. You know, I actually read what Jeff's making me do. I don't want to do the assignment anymore. No. It was either you want the assignment or not.
Yeah.
And once you say you want it, you're going to do
You're
it.
in.
Is there a reward for the assignment? Do we get
No.
like an inspiration for doing it? It's just you're just doing it, or
Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
Deeper character, dude. The reward in itself is a deeper connection to the world. So like, again, I'm 100% on board. I was just reading, I'm just laughing. I'm like, that's not extra credit. This is a punishment.
Not the definition.
no, and I think just going back to Dwayne, I really want to shout him out. Not that, and I think we can all agree. I think you guys are so kick ass. Like, every one of your characters, especially when you were like doing some of the role play stuff and the backstories, all awesome. Dwayne, and for the listeners' background, myself, one of our other players, Dwayne, and one of our other players, Jabbo, had never played D&D before. We tried years ago on 3.5. I tried to DM. It failed because I basically made it an entirely different game. I was naming abilities like they were, you know, Bloodborne abilities and things like that. So it just completely failed. But we still have memories of it. But we started playing D&D with Nate, John's cousin. It was a chunk of time ago. We had like a year-long session or campaign that had a lot of highlights, but I invited Dwayne. I said, "Hey, Dwayne, we need a third for D&D. I know you were interested. Would you want to give it a try? I'm not DMing. We have a DM who knows a lot about the game." And he was kind of reluctant. Dwayne was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I might as well come hang out with you and drink. And Dwayne took to it so fast with his first character named Kiwi Pie. He just, and Dwayne has told me, he's like, it's one of my favorite nights of the week now. Because I think Dwayne is so deliberate with his actions, and he can think on the spot so much better than I can. Dwayne has these like brilliant moves, just being a doofus that always work, and I don't know how he does it. The only thing I can say is Dwayne is low key very theatrical, and what I like acting. I don't mean like, I don't know where I was going with that, but he just has this innate ability to become a character, but he's never like been that like theater kid in school. Like I don't even know where it comes from. Like Dwayne is such a
he needs the outlet, man. It's the creative outlet.
It's latent power, dude. But he never breaks character.
Nope.
And the thing is too, what's so genius about what he does is he has like this kind of, you called it doofus like character, like, he's the fool. He's playing the fool of the party, the funny guy. But that sometimes can be a slippery slope where it's just like, oh, look at me, guys. I'm just doing something silly. I'm doing something stupid, and I'm just the comic relief. But he, like you said, it's so deliberate, moves the story along. He is doing silly things, but it's like exactly in character. You can see the growth of the character too. I just think it's so good.
There's a difference between just being dumb. So like if you're playing a dumb character, right? You would assume like, okay, real life, it's like, let's say you're average intelligence. You're just like, I'm a normal human. I'm going to play a dumb idiot, whatever. So it's like anything that you would think a rational person would do the opposite. And Dwayne doesn't do that. Dwayne is like literally like playing this character, but you understand from his point of view why everything he does seems like the smartest, most like sane. And it's such a talent to like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like I never once questioned, like, dude, you're just doing this to be dumb. Like you're like, why would you ever do this? Yeah. He hasn't made one of those things. Like it's always been like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like it's always made sense to me, which maybe makes my character dumb too. I don't know, but like
it's like almost complex in a way, right? Where you would think the dumb character's like super one note.
Maybe we're giving him too much credit. I don't want to blow him up either, but like
Dewey's like
really good.
There's actually like some layers to this guy, like you would never think. I'm very excited to see where it goes.
No, it's fantastic. I think everyone's great.
I mean, just a moment of his brilliance last night whenever he was put in charge of the contraband, and Dewey's like,
perfect.
Dewey was like, I'm gonna go hide this where nobody else knows where it is. Yep. And we're like, yep, that's what he would do.
And it's like usually when you fuck over the party like that, it can be a really negative experience. But he does it in a way where it's like, nope, absolutely, like everyone's on board, totally in character. Like last night, one of my favorite moments in the campaign so far is him with this exchange with the dock master, and he's like, it's like what a rogue, like perfectly role played, like he knows the tricks of the trade, he knows like greasing palms, and like he's using all this awesome lingo and stuff.
Give me the steal now, I'll come back to you later.
Just so smooth, so like, and it's like, oh yeah, this is Dewey's forte. Like he knows how to talk. He knows like the kind of dark side of the salt marsh, and I don't know. It's so cool.
But I'm so excited to interact because, like, again, Nate and I were out of that campaign. So all I know is I'm getting 65% of this booty whenever I wake up.
Right.
So I can't wait to see what he considers 65%. And then does my character, like,
what does he do?
Do I consider like, sure. Like,
oh, man,
I think
it'll be good.
And I don't know if we want to end on this or whenever, but I think one of the beauties that I'm experiencing as a DM is having different levels I don't want to say of skill, but different levels of comfort with D&D, right? So because you guys have been playing longer than we have, so we have like the most experience. There's like 3 of you guys. There's 2 of us in the middle, and there's probably 2 like really new players, right? So what I love about the new players is they might be scared to like do a couple of things, but they approach the game with such fresh eyes that they're like, well, I'll just go over here. Or, so it is, I don't know. It's just, I can't stress enough how fun it is to watch you guys interact. And it's even fun to watch you guys interact when things don't go great.
It's the best.
It's the best part.
Best part.
Yeah.
I love it.
Rolling
so
a
much.
1 is like the best thing that can happen.
Like when Milo got shot in the head, I was like, oh, I didn't know I killed him.
Dead. And I burned through all my spells too. I put up shield. I fucking did everything. I died.
I love it so much.
Yeah. But again, it's like I see that as such a golden opportunity.
But see, that's also a perfect. We should probably move on. But like that's a perfect thing where it's like, okay, character wise, should I wait 4 hours and get a short rest in and heal up from a mechanical standpoint?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. I ain't gonna do that.
No, it's not you.
I'm tapped the heck out. Let's kick in the door and run back into the haunted mansion. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, we I definitely can speak for the group. We appreciate everything you do, all the effort you put into this, because I know you come super prepared every week. So that's just
Well, thank you.
It challenges
doing
us
what you
for
do.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the state of D&D.
Yeah.
Now we move to the state of play. Is that what they call it?
This is a showcase. The
showcase,
state
yeah.
of plays are the the
Shorter ones, okay.
10 to 20 to half hour. But this is
the
this
big
is
one.
the big one. This
The
is the big
whale.
one.
So PlayStation had their showcase this week, right? Wednesday. I guess last week if you're listening to this. Ugh. But, I always do it. But anyways, I am very curious. Let me get my phone out because I took notes on every single reveal.
Yeah. Are we going chronologically? How do you have your notes set up?
Chronologically.
How do you have your notes?
Because I would just, like, something would come up. I just jot down something quick.
Okay.
And-
Good.
Yeah, okay.
My notes are also set up chronologically, but I only took notes on the ones that
You care about?
I care about.
No, that's totally
So
fine.
I was a little greedy.
I'm sure we'll be blown past a couple of these, but there are some that I'm like, okay, I want to talk through some stuff. So I guess we're saying Jon is the
I think John's the lead.
lead here.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So did you write down a thought for every entry?
Just a quick blurb, just
That's
so
fine.
I could
That's
remember,
enough
like,
to, I just need like the name, and I can
Yeah.
be like, oh right,
I
here's
think
my
it-
thought. Okay, moving.
I was, I was trying to do this at the same time, so if I get a name wrong, I apologize. But all right, here we go. So we open the showcase with this. They just jump right into the trailer, and I believe this was not a gameplay trailer. I think this was just
CGI.
CGI cinematic kind of trailer. So it's called Fair Game. Is it games? I
Yeah,
know
'cause there's a dollar sign at the end. I read that as
That doesn't
fair
make
games.
sense to me, though.
Is that not fair games?
I thought it was fair games too. I don't.
gotta be fair
I think
games.
it's fair games, but it doesn't make sense.
It's stupid.
Yeah. Regardless, so this was like a kind of heist, like they were, trying to rip off like rich people or something. It looked really weird to me. They're like shooting grappling hooks and stuff,
Yeah.
which I know Tyler loves, but
I love good grappling hook. Yeah.
I didn't care about it personally. I don't know how you guys felt.
I wasn't blown away. It didn't seem like my cup of tea personally, but to me, this was Sony's one of their entries into the free-to-play model, trying to get that battle pass going. I assume this is going to be it. We know for sure that Sony does have an initiative to try to branch out into these models, which they don't have a ton of experience with. So that's how I took this game, but didn't really do much for me.
Yeah, it was like Watch Dogs had a baby with like Payday.
Definitely.
It's
Yeah,
just like,
I was
okay,
thinking
sure,
Payday,
yeah.
which I'd rather play Payday.
Yeah, let's not get crazy.
I love Payday.
See, I can't stand Payday.
Why?
It's
I
too
don't-
old.
I don't
It's
like
too
Payday.
old.
Oh,
either.
well, now.
Yeah.
At the time, it was fun.
No, I have yet to see a good one of those. I don't think
Payday
Payday
2 was getting there.
It was getting there. I don't think
getting-
it was good though.
The
I don't
improvements
thi-
they made, though, like if you kept that trajectory, I think you could get a really awesome game
maybe
eventually.
it's such a weird like I'm trying to think of all those type of like heisty games.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
we just played that. We played what was the one Inc. something. It was like Deceive Inc. or something like that.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were
I
playing.
know what you're talking about.
And like that was
Oh, yeah,
it was
yep.
cool, but it's still like it's not really good. Like at the end of the day, people just running around shooting each other and killing each other.
Yeah.
That Robin Hood game, same thing. Like
Yep.
it's just like I liked what
Devolves.
was there, but it gets to this point where like if you, in my mind, if you can't get into a game, and we're talking about this as we know what the hell this game is. It's a CGI trailer, whatever. But if you can't play a heist game where the people can go in, sneak in, do everything correctly, get the money or whatever, and get out without ever setting anything off or having any type of like other people realizing what the heck happened, that is awesome.
yeah,
And I just have
and
yet
think
to
you
see a
can-
game that can be that way.
I think you can do that in Payday 2, though. You can be totally undetected.
Yeah, kind of. Well, Payday 2 isn't.
The
You're
thing
not playing other people though. You know what I mean?
What do you?
So like Payday 2, you're playing like CPUs. It's not like I'm talking like a PvP. thing.
Oh,
so
I
like
see what you're saying. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I guess technically
Yeah.
Payday you could do it. But
Yeah. Well,
That's like a
the
trial and error
problem
thing.
with like that, I've always like since I was a kid, I've always had this kind of idea revolving around like one team's guarding something and
Yeah.
then the other team's sneaking in. And the problem you run into is the team guarding something shouldn't know something's going to happen, but obviously you're playing a game. They're going to know.
Right.
Like my brain kind of goes to like if you're the guards, you have like you're locked. You can't move around freely. You have a designated path. So whatever guard you pick, you see what his path is, and you just walk back and forth. And while you do know something's going to happen, at least the opposing team can set up and manipulate where you guys are to try.
Or you have like a certain like line of sight, like you have like you if you're looking up into like the rafters, and like let's say it's like Batman's coming in to get you or whatever.
Yeah,
like you actually can't see into darkness.
Yeah,
type of thing. Yeah,
but the problem you run into is like, how awful experience would it be if you're the defending team and you never see the offensive team? It's like, oh, we lost after just
that's why I think these games
minutes.
are so hard. And for Sony to pick this type of, again, not knowing what the heck this game is,
right.
But for Sony to pick this type of game where like, I'm talking specifically balance, that's so tough. Like, and we'll get on other games and stuff on like, oh, like maybe Bungie's thing makes sense. Like is like a multiplayer thing that brings people in. But like for something like this, that's just, it's a weird choice, but we'll see.
I think, my thought with this game and some of the other games that we're going to talk about that try to go down this route and this model is you are asking the players of a commitment. Like there's already so much to compete with in these types of games and models, these free-to-play models. You need to convert people from an already beloved model, and that is very hard to do.
Yeah.
You need to pull somebody off of their time commitment to League or Dota. You need to pull it off of their time commitment to Valorant or CSGO, Fortnite, whatever. I think these games are... I think it's very hard to pull off.
Yeah, I think they're trying to hit a home run, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to be the next Fortnite.
You need a new genre.
If you can do it, you win, right? So I get why they go for it.
Maybe they're brilliant. Maybe it's because there isn't this genre out there yet.
Yeah.
And
We just
you
haven't
have to
seen
do
enough.
that.
Yeah.
That was more speculative stuff than I thought I was going to
Yeah,
be for this
no,
game.
yeah,
Moving
yeah.
on, sorry.
Okay, so the second one, Helldiver 2.
Heck yeah.
Did you play the first one?
Yeah.
Is it good?
No.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad. Did you play the first one?
I did not.
It was fine.
It was like one of those, trailers. It's trying to be funny. It's, with this recruitment style kind of video. And then it looks so boring, dude. I was snoozing during this one.
So the first one, the reason why this one is quote unquote special.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Risk of Rain situation. So Risk of Rain 1 was this like side scrolling platforming thing. You're shooting aliens and everything. Risk of Rain 2, suddenly it's third person action. It's the same game, but now you're like in it.
Yeah.
So Helldivers 1, top down, isometric, Diablo style, like top down shooter thing, where like you still had a cape, and if you like spun your cape like 40 times or something, you got an achievement and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's goofy.
Yeah.
I thought it was poorly balanced. I thought the skill, like the difficulty, like ramped the heck up, where it's like if you're not playing with a dedicated group of people, it's like, this kind of sucks. So then going and playing this thing where it's like, oh, now they're going to be, you're in like third person. It's almost like it looked like a better looking Alien Defense Force, which I'm here for.
Okay.
Tentatively excited. I think it really depends on like, is this going to be like because I'm pretty sure Helldivers 1 was a freebie at some point for PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I don't remember how that worked out, but generally speaking, this is like a $20 game where we all just like hop on, play a little bit, and just kind of like dick around with it. By all means, sure. Otherwise, Risk of Rain 2 might be kind of where you should be playing.
I think that this did not blow my skirt up very much. This was I looked at this trailer and it got a chuckle out of me. I did chuckle, but the gameplay itself, I'm like, wow, they are really just spam shooting into a crowd of like alien creatures.
Yeah.
And I was just like, just pass. I think there are people that are looking forward to this game. I think they're out there. I think this was a pass for me as well.
It really depends on how to, like, and not to keep bringing up Risk of Rain, but it depends on how close does it line up with Risk of Rain. And the whole point of Risk of Rain is you can get, like, you played that one?
Yes.
Yeah. You can get so overpowered. Like, the whole point of it is to break the game, where you're just like, you're so godly, it's a joke. Right? Mm-hmm. So if you can get to that point in this, which I don't, like if it's anything like the first one, you can't, which is a little rough. We'll see, but...
You're playing with your friends, so like you run into the issue where like I guess you're all godlike at that point. That's kind of the goal. Yeah, okay.
Well, the thing with Risk of Rain is like as you're just building powers and building it, and like you could have a different build every time, But if you just get lucky with a build, it could be like you're shooting so fast it doesn't.
Yeah,
you just melt
but
everything.
we
or you
talk
move so
about
fast
this
or jump so high or whatever.
where you run the risk of like, oh, my buddy picked a better build, and I'm like, I can't compete. And
but it's
like,
different every time.
Okay,
and like it's not. You're not competing per se.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think that's going to be like the
yeah
the end all be all? No, but I do applaud them for A, getting another game together, and B, trying something new. I think it's cool. I really applaud when games are like, okay, we're doing this top-down thing. Oh, now it's third person. Oh, it's side-scrolling. Now it's third person. Oh, now it's like what was the other game that just did it with? It was like pink and blue, and you have a sword, and you're doing. It's like almost like a Souls-like esque.
Oh wait, I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about Beat Saber for some
Oh,
reason.
no. Although we'll talk about that too. Shoot, I forget what it's called. It's like Void. It's not Void Bastards. Into the Void. I don't know. Anyway, another game is doing that where like they're like it's the evolution. It harkens back to remember when Mario was a side scroller? Well, guess what? Now it's 64 or whatever. I like that. I like that evolution of games where they're just willing to try something.
No, I agree. I'm not excited.
I
next
agree.
one, though, which is kind of the first one I was paying attention to. So, Immortals of Avium.
Yeah.
This one kind of like a Bioshocky. My note was first person shooter
Magic,
spell
Call of Duty.
slinger kind of thing.
Yeah.
Looked pretty cool. Like the combat looked pretty fluid. You're shooting a lot of shit around. I have no idea what's happening on the screen, but I was interested. It didn't look bad. So I wasn't, as Jeff puts it, my skirt wasn't up, but maybe there's a little gust.
There was a quick breeze.
Yeah, it moved a little bit. I was like,
above
okay.
the knee.
So this was kind of the first one. I was like, okay, this is a game. It's a game. I'm checking it out a little bit.
People have been talking about it.
Yeah,
for
it's
a little
been
bit.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Jeff?
This was not a Jeff.
Oh,
no.
Hey,
I feel bad because I'm like, no, like 3 in a row. But this one did not strike me any which way. Yeah, I think it was almost, there was too much stuff flying around for me. The hands were weird to me. I looked at it and maybe my brain wasn't like comprehending it correctly or something. But this game just looked bland to me, and I feel bad. But that's what I got from it.
I want the next Doom. Eternal.
That's not.
Is really what
That's not the next Doom.
You don't think?
Nah.
Oh, see, that's what I thought it looked like. Like I thought it looked like it was like a.
Okay, I could see that. Like just kind of adrenaline. You're just.
I just
running
wanted to
through.
find. So,
yeah.
have you guys ever played Ziggurat? Or Ziggurat? Well, I guess if you can play with the Ziggurat, Ziggurat 2 is also out. Ziggurat's kind of the same thing where you're like slinging spells and you have two hands and you're kind of like going and you have to pick like one spell could be like, oh, this is like a super like gunfire, like a minigun almost spell, and this one's like a shotgun thing and stuff. And it's this like roguelite type of thing. I was getting a lot of vibes from that, but this at least looked like it had somewhat of a story. A couple lines, but like even the lines, I was like, that was an okay delivery. Like, it was fine.
Yeah.
And like for how just middling to bad Forspoken was,
Right.
which is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But this is like first person. Like maybe you kind of
This could be.
get that like magic itch. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
So yeah.
I think,
that's July, I think.
yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think if something that this game could do to hook me is a interesting spell system where maybe you are crafting your own spells, you're combining spells for different effects. I think that could be really cool. There's a lot of lists out there like what is the best magic system in games, and I don't recall the name of what everyone says is the best game or magic system in a game, but it is very much of like you have a frost spell, you can combine it with a holy spell, and you get like this crazy different new thing. So if there is kind of that interaction with the spells, maybe I'll be interested. I think this is another one where I might just need to see a little bit more. What is the story? Like you said, what are the boss fights? Did we see some boss fights? I couldn't even tell. I think I just need to see a little bit more.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. This is probably going to be a game where it's like I'm going to see what the reviews are. If it's really good, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, I think 80 or higher. Honestly, like for something like that could just be because I'm thinking, okay, Diablo comes out June,
yeah.
provided that it's not broken on launch. That's going to be me for
That's good, yeah.
easy a month.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. I'm gonna really try to give it the old college try.
Day one, you going in? 'cause
Wait,
the thing
when is it?
June 6th if you didn't buy the
Yeah.
expensive one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should be good to go. That's soon. Wait, that's like
Yeah.
next.
Yeah. Oh, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm very
I
excited.
gotta pull my
I was
pants up.
talking to Nate about this, where I'm like, I'm worried that you're going to come in like weeks late.
I will do
what I
my
mean? And I'm
best.
just
I
like,
can't
well,
make
you're
any
gonna come in
promises
late,
because
and
I'm
it's
very
just like-
behind on my games.
Yeah.
Which is totally on me, but I'm gonna do my best for you, buddy.
All right.
Okay, next one is I kind of alluded to this before. It started off like a motorcycle on a building. No Akira slide, disappointing. But my note on this is sword guy from Overwatch. What's his name? Genji. This looked like you were playing Genji, which is kind of sweet. Like he's like blocking bullets. He's like dashing and shit.
I'm guessing you never played the first one.
Yeah, this is Ghost Runner 2. Yeah. No, I didn't play the first one, so it looked cool. But did you play the first one?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Very good? Okay.
Well, did you play the first one?
I did.
Was it good?
Would you say it's like Mirror's Edge if Mirror's Edge was good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
Mirror's Edge is not good?
Not compared to Ghost.
Okay, so you
Ghost
guys
Runner.
are excited for this.
Yeah.
I think it looks
okay.
stylish, man.
It did. I was interested in this. Yeah, we got a couple in a row where I was like, okay.
This one didn't make my paper list that I brought, but this one was one that I was like, okay, now we're talking. Now we're speaking my language.
Yeah.
I did. So my thoughts on the character on the bike was very Destiny. I thought that was like straight like a Destiny ripoff. I was very confused at first because I thought it was Destiny. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped. This game should have some pretty unique movement in it. I'm hoping to see that. I think this is a very small genre. I think this is a type of game that is kind of has a cult following. This is by no means going to do blockbusters. It might get some critical success, but probably not financially. I'm excited to see it.
I mean, they're giving this away left and right. So I think Epic gave it away. I want to say it was on Game Pass at one point.
Okay.
And it's always on sale. So it's like you could pick it up now for dirt cheap, but it's one of those things. I think the biggest issue I had with it, and maybe it gets better, maybe just get used to it, is I thought that the paths were not as telegraphed as they should be for how fast that game is. So like there was a lot of trial and error, a lot of like I'm missing jumps because I was like thinking I should jump in one place, but it's like, oh no, I actually have to jump here, 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 and then there. And I was getting like frustrated with that kind of stuff. So it was one of those things like maybe I just didn't invest enough of my time in it. But then watching that, it's like that trailer looked sick. But if there's anything you learn from Mirror's Edge, from friggin' Uncharted, Tomb Raider, whatever, it's like the paths are very clear. Mirror's Edge, I think, was a masterclass in like how to interact with the environment. I think it was just really good, like environmental, especially when you're moving fast. So if they can bump that up a little bit, I'm excited. I'd definitely play it. But
Yeah. We got a lot of games to go, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to keep it.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
you're good, man. I love the convo, but I don't want this to be 8 hours.
No, these first 4 games should not have had this long.
yeah. I was like, okay. But speaking of which, so this is the first game I kind of caught a glance at Jeff's sheet there. This definitely was something that caught my eye. I thought it was super awesome. Phantom Blade Zero, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it called Phantom Blade Zero?
Yeah, with a dollar sign at the end. So zeros.
No, slash
A
through
zero?
it.
Okay.
So this, there you go. He added the slash through it. Anyways, this caught my eye. The combat looked really slick and cool. I couldn't even like put my finger on like what, like it looked unique in a way. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't know what this looks like, but this is cool and it is grabbing my attention. It looks cool. So I was kind of very intrigued by this.
Is it my turn?
Yeah,
Yes,
go, buddy.
your turn. Let's
This is definitely one that caught my eye.
Yeah.
I think just to comment on you, John, not on you of the game comments.
Tell me
The
about
combat it did catch my eye. And one of my fears is I don't know how much of that combat is you're doing. Are you inputting a combo?
Yep.
Is this something that you'll be doing once in a blue moon? Is this a quick time event? Is this
Yeah, did they just hide the quick time buttons
Yeah.
for the
Right.
sake
It
of the trailer?
looked like not
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
game, if that makes sense, because it was so crazy.
So when I see that type of combat in a trailer that isn't a CGI trailer, I do get a little bit concerned. I'm like, how are you pulling this off? But I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful. And I did do a little bit of research on this game off of the PlayStation blog. This is a Chinese developed game, which is very exciting to me.
Okay.
Mostly because when we think about a Chinese developed game that isn't under Tencent, when we think about a Korean developed game, some of these countries that aren't in mainstream games, they have a story to tell. And of course, China's going to censor the crap out of it. They can't talk about this, and this. But they have creative talent, and I want to see what they can bring to the table. The developer is called well, let me rephrase that. The president of the company is named Soulframe Liang. That is a badass name. That is his name,
Wow.
Soulframe.
You're like born to be a video game
Yes.
developer. Yeah.
The studio is called S Games, and so what this game was born out of is this individual Soulframe was in college, and he was in college studying architecture. And in 2010, he made he made an indie game by himself and named it Rain Blood Tower of Death in 2010 while he was going to college learning
I
architecture.
think I just cut myself off of that
that's
title.
That's his son's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he made this game to escape the stress of college. He finished college. He moved back to China, and he started his own studio, which is now called S Games, from the money he made from this indie game he made back in 2010. There has been different iterations of the game. It went to mobile, huge success over in China. We never heard about it because it didn't come to the States or anywhere else. So now this game, Phantom Blade Zero, is a spirit. These are his words: spiritual rebirth of Rainblood Tower of Death, the way I saw it in 3D. So this is him going all out. I'm super pumped. You are an elite assassin serving an elusive organization called the Order, and you were framed for the murder of that organization's president. So you think of it like you're in a league of assassins and you killed the head assassin, and now whatever stem. I didn't go into the entire story, but that's what I read off of the PlayStation blog.
So
Sweet.
we don't
Looks
know
awesome.
if this is a Souls-like yet.
we don't know.
I didn't get that vibe.
Neither
didn't
did
get that
I.
vibe either.
That's the make or break. I know when we were talking with Ryan last night, he was saying that it was almost jittery, like how the movements were and stuff like that. And I don't disagree, but if you were to strip out all of the UI in Arkham games, you could almost be like, dude, that's nuts. Where Batman's literally taking down six guys at once and dropping things and doing different stuff like that. Where if it's anything like that type of combat, or just action based, almost like a Devil May Cry-esque thing, or some sort of more forgiving parry system, or something that you can break a movement to block something and attack, and something that's really responsive. Oh, I'll play the heck out
Same.
of that. I that's what I want. I don't want and again, you guys like Souls games, so it's if this is another one of those, good on you. I get a little jealous because I love that setting, and I'm I wish I could play. Is Ghost of Tsushima actually coming to PC?
Yeah.
Do we have a
No, I
date on
don't
it?
know
Yeah.
the date.
So it's something like that. I would love to play that, but even that's a little Soulsy, isn't it?
No,
It's
I think
not?
you would like Soul.
Yeah.
I think you would like. Well, don't you have a PS5? Why don't you
Yeah, I do. I do.
listen?
I should.
Love Ghost of
I should.
Tsushima.
I should.
And it is gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, maybe maybe that's my. Well, actually, no. My next one's going to be Ratchet and Clank. But regardless, that's the type of gameplay I'm looking for. So if it
I
has
think
that,
I think
I'm
almost Spider-Man. I would love to have a Spider-Man combat
Yeah.
system in here where, because in Spider-Man, Miles and Peter are doing these amazing things. You see the very fluid combat. Spider-Man combat feels good. Great gaming sin have never played an Arkham game, but I would imagine it's somewhat like the Spider-Man games. So that's what I'm hoping. I actually don't want this to be a Souls-like. I'm already taken care of. I'm eating good with my Souls-like.
Well,
Eating good.
I do like I need a stealth game because apparently Gollum is not great.
Oh my god.
So that's
It's either
my
gonna be
hopes
Gollum
there.
or Zelda.
Gollum.
for-
I really need
Yikes.
a stealth game.
I hope you get one, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would caught my attention. Moving on, we have Sword of the Sea, made by the people who made Journey. So I was thinking of Tyler when I was watching that. I never played Journey, but one of my favorite stories I ever heard was Tyler's experience with that. so cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're excited about it. We didn't see a lot, but it's kind of I guess what you'd expect in a way, where it's like very similar style.
So the thing with that is a little bit of a misconception because they're like, oh, for the people that did Abzu and Journey, and it's like, yeah, but like the people that did Abzu really weren't the people that did Journey. Like it's not like that game company. Like it's a little.
I think Journey was
affiliated.
I think Journey was the big one though, because they did the first two, and then there was like a line, and it's like and Journey.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like that they did that when they came out with Abzu, and Abzu wasn't bad, but it's not. It's not that. It's not the whole group. It's like because like if you're talking Journey, it's like they made Journey, they made Flower, and then they made the Sky Children or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the 3 games they made. Don't like you can kind of say that it's like Abzu, but that's like I don't know, like Death Stranding. It's like from the guy that made Metal Gear Solid or whatever.
Yeah.
Like sure. I don't know. Anyway.
I being a Journey lover myself, I think it's my number 6 game of all time. I wasn't really blown away by this one either. I think I've seen a lot of games in that style of Journey, and I don't know if it's like, oh, I've already had this experience, like I'm not up for it again, because my experience with Journey was seriously, I think it was transformative, and I just don't know. I look at these games and I'm like, I don't believe in it.
You're trying to recapture it.
Yeah, like I don't have that faith that this game is going to hit like the other ones. So I passed on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, look, I'll play it, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things like, I thought that the sand in Journey looked better. Like, I was looking at it, and I'm just like, this is 20 years later, and you didn't upgrade the sand particles? Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah. Okay. The next one is the Talos Principle.
Yeah.
I didn't write any notes for this, so I'm totally blanking on what
I like the first one a lot. Did you play the first one?
Can you remind me what the trailer was?
It's a puzzle game. So it's like you're in just like puzzle rooms and stuff. It's very Portal-esque, but you have a lot of other props than just like your Portal gun. So
What's the style of the game?
First person, like it's like room to room. Think of it almost like you're in like a maze, and it's just like pick up this block and put this laser through, and this will open this door to get you through here, to then pick up another block to put into this lever. The first one was good. I thought it was coming out around the same time as like The Witness and all these other ones. There was like a lot of puzzle games all at once, but I thought it was serviceable for sure. And they did multiple iterations of it. I think it's in VR, if I'm not mistaken. You'll see like a cat, and they're like hold the cat.
You know my love of puzzle games.
Sure, yeah. Will this like knock your socks off for like a puzzle? Like Portal, you have to play that game.
Yep.
This, I would never make you play this game.
Yeah. Portal is like the exception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, John. I can't do puzzle games at all.
Yeah.
As soon as I see them, I blank. I'm like, not
Snooze,
for me.
dude.
And it's because I am so ungodly bad at puzzles. And you can put any puzzle in front of me, and I guarantee you I'll take the longest in the room to figure it out. I just don't have that strength.
It makes you feel bad, and it's just like that puzzle games are very like you need to be by yourself. And when you finally get it, like I still think The Witness is one of the best feeling games ever. Whenever you get that aha moment and you do it, but you can't be around someone else because someone else gets in there like, oh, I know. What if you do? It ruins it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, agreed.
sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good, man. So the next one on the list here is Neva. And this one was really interesting to me. Kind of like captured my attention just based off of like the premise. It's like a really good hook. I don't know if it's the music. I really enjoyed the music in this one, or the style, or the case may be, but I'm very curious about it. I don't know.
Since people did Gris.
Yes.
Is that one? Yeah. Gris was great.
Yeah, so I think I saw you have a note on this. So I'm curious.
Man, you eagle eye. I'm right here and I can't read that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So this one also captured my eye, and I think the style is a big portion of it. I also love the simplistic design of the main character. I thought that was a very well done main character. I thought the hook was great. You're seeing a character that we don't even know, but the character dies and she is very distraught. I was almost more excited about this game before I looked into it. And this game is it's all consoles. Creators of Gris, Nomada Studios. But this game is a lot about raising that little pet wolf that we see in the trailer, and seeing them grow together. So I don't know what that journey looks like. I don't know if this is an action game. I don't know if this is a journey like where you're just exploring through the world with your new pet wolf. But I am hyped for this game for some reason. I think I do have high expectations for it. And I actually made a note hoping that this will be my next journey, because I am a sucker for a human and dog story. I love animals. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I love animals. If this is gonna make me cry, I just know it. And this is probably a day one buy unless it bombs in reviews for me.
Okay.
Yeah, Gris had a very unique watercolor aesthetic, and I thought the art was phenomenal. I wouldn't call it a Metroidvania. Like, there was some backtracking if you wanted to, but it was a pretty straightforward, just go through the world. Was it transformative? No, but I think that it was missing that exact thing where you have that other pairing of another life to connect to. So,
no, yeah.
I mean, the first one was good, so I'm sure this will be
right.
Good.
So it was actually funny. We get a complete 180 in terms of tone. The next one is Cat Quest.
That was freaking love. Have you played Cat Quest? Cat Quest is awesome.
Really?
Let me tell you.
Oh my God.
I was not expecting that.
Cat Quest.
I was ready to skip, but
nope.
I love the title.
Dude, Cat Quest, awesome game. I don't think I played the second one. The second one, they include I think there was dogs and stuff. There's a whole other thing.
Ooh.
First Cat Quest was just that was a dumb I'm just gonna play it on my I don't even know, it was either on my Switch or my freaking iPad. And I sat there and played it the entire beat it in a sitting, or a day, but it was just all day. I was just playing. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was better than it had any right to be. And now you take those adorable kitties and you put them in freaking pirates. That's my game, man.
All right.
I was devastated because I was like, this has to be available now. And it's not till 2024 that game is coming out. So I was super excited and got super bummed out.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying on Cat Quest. You should go play Cat Quest.
I can't
really
top
good.
that.
This is one that I did not anticipate talking about, but I'm glad you did.
Wow.
30-second pitch, but Cat Quest is fantastic.
That's awesome.
It's better than it has any.
It didn't look good. It looks like it's a solid
like I said,
game.
man. It is it the best game in the world? Of course not. But to waste a day on,
that's awesome.
You could do worse.
Okay, so this is definitely one that I'm hoping we all snoozed on. Foam Stars, PlayStation.
What are they doing?
Yeah, what?
How do you get away with that?
That's such a dumb move, right?
Oh my god!
You're trying to beat Splatoon? You're done, so dude. Square Enix is just such a coin flip, dude. They have the greatest shit, and then they do this, and it's what in the world?
It made me angry because even some of the abilities and stuff it literally looked like they just ripped it straight out of not even this is a cool different take on it. It was no, it's this orb in the sky shooting candy cane rays at somebody. I'm that is literally what they do in Splatoon.
Yeah.
You see a paint roller go
Oh
by.
my
yeah, dude. So uninspired. And
it's flat. It is flat. That's the thing is at least Splatoon has all these different levels and all these interactions and different things. We don't even. I don't think they deserve to be talked about personally. Beyond that,
I'm fine with that.
Anything on this?
I was shocked that they showed. I was shocked they were doing it, but I'm fine.
I saw Square Enix. I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh no,
dude!
First bubble I saw.
I wish Nintendo would be hey, what you doing?
Yeah.
And Nintendo is good to do that.
I'd tweet something out immediately, be like, oh, nice trailer, guys.
Yeah.
By the way, Splatoon season pass on sale.
That's gotta.
Okay. Anyway, so here's an interesting game, The Plucky Squire.
Plucky Squire.
Yeah. So this one kind of caught my eye because it's this. It starts out in this 2D, I don't know, cartoonish
Yep.
RPG kind of thing. I was like, okay, this looks interesting. And then they pop out of the book, and it's this It Takes Two kind of feel where they're in this bedroom and they're moving around. I thought it was pretty interesting. It looked good. I'm very kind of curious about this one.
Was that not on the Xbox showcase?
Was it?
I don't think
I don't remember that one.
Maybe it was State of Play, and I
yeah.
remember it, yeah.
So I was kind of interested in that. I don't know.
This game, as the trailer began, I was feeling it. I was feeling at the 2D in the book. I'm like, oh dang, okay, I can get down with this, even though this appears to be, kind of that all age range field of game. As soon as it went into the It Takes Two like 3D, I was out. I was
okay.
that is where I was. It lost me. I was like, okay, not for me. But again, filling that kid, maybe I don't want to call it a kid game, but just filling that playful slot of games during the showcase made sense. Not for me, but I'm sure it's for someone.
I don't want to poo-poo this game before it comes out, but if it can capture half of just how bonkers It Takes Two was and the ups and downs that we had on that one, I don't think you played Tinykin. You played Tinykin?
No.
Tinykin, phenomenal game.
Yeah.
Tinykin was amazing, and I think that type of game where it's like you're in a small thing in a big world, like that is the game.
Okay.
So it has big shoes to fill if it can do that.
Yeah, this will be another let's see the reviews.
Sure.
Let's scope it out. Okay, so next up, was a snoozer for me. Teardown. Just looks like a
Teardown's cool. Did you play Teardown yet? Teardown's cool.
It's out.
Yeah.
You've played it?
It's been out for a while. So,
okay.
So Teardown, the whole premise, and I don't think the trailer didn't do a good job.
Okay, maybe that's
so
it. Yeah.
the whole point of it is you go in to a building or whatever, and everything is destructible. Everything is all these little
it's like a Minecraft
what's it
mod.
called? Not pixels, voxels.
Okay.
So it's like that, but there's destructions and things everywhere, and you have to look at okay, here's the alarm and here's all this stuff. You go in, you case the joint, and you basically, and I don't know, I think they showed you could spray paint directions and stuff.
They did show that.
And it's basically blow everything up, run in, grab the stuff, and get out of there in the fastest time. So you're creating your own pathways and different things like that. So it's okay, I'm gonna blow up this, making this up, blow up this crane, this comes in, it breaks in the roof, I can run up it, jump down onto the car and get into the boat and drive away. So it's this almost speed run game. It's super cool. Is it this has been out for I'm gonna say years. I think it's been pre-COVID almost, but it's neat, but yeah, I don't know.
I think you did a better job selling me on the game than the trailer did.
Trailer was not good.
The trailer for me was, why are there so many explosions? I think I saw a tree explode. I was like, the tree exploded?
Yeah.
It wasn't a rocket hitting the tree and the rocket exploding. It was literally the tree exploding. I was like, wow, there's a lot of explosions. That's really all I took from it. But that sounds way more interesting than what I perceived the game to be.
It's how do you use the tree to then break into the thing to get, because you have to break in and out. So it's blow everything up, break it in, and just to remember where you're going. That's when you put the arrow and stuff of look for the yellow because that's where I'm running out to. It's neat.
That could be a fun little thing we do.
Yeah, it's and this is such a weird jump, but Besiege, where you make your own little thing, the trial and error thing. Think of it almost like that, where it's just a goofy indie thing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with Jeff there. Yeah, that was much.
It was a bad. It was a bad trailer.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, now we get into the meat here. What a trailer for this too. I'm just so confused. Ants crawling on the ground. We're going through the jungle. What the fuck is this game? And then Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater.
I bet you don't have anything written for that.
So clever how they did that. That was kind of I know they've been talking about it, so everyone was expecting it. But I like how they did the trailer, where it's and then I watched it again, and a snake comes out of the water.
Yeah,
that tries to eat the bird. There's foreshadowing. Anyways, go for it. I'll let the Metal Gear Solid experts take it away.
I will say that in the world of remakes, this is one that I am very excited for. I hit my gaming maturity very late. Let me explain that.
Yeah, please do.
When Snake Eater came out, I was very much old enough to play the game, but mentally I was not. I didn't understand all these systems. There was a lot to it. You're, stabbing snakes and eating them, literally, to survive. This is a game that I really want to experience now, because I think I have the mental, I don't want to say fortitude, but I think will be much more willing to interact with the Snake Eater systems at a higher level than I was way back then. Because I did play it, and it lost me very early on because I was like, why do I have to keep going to these menus? I didn't really get the nuance of the game. I didn't understand why it was special. So I'm really excited to give this one another go and understand why people really love this series outside of the bombastic bosses and characters that Kojima put up. Only concern, obviously, Kojima is not going to be involved in this. This is a Konami developed and published game. Kojima is not allowed to interact with them, so hopefully they don't drop the ball that much. I'm just hoping for at least half quality of what the Resident Evil 4 remake was, and I'll be happy.
See, I don't think half quality is enough. I don't like. They've already remastered it, which that's the other thing is they come out with 1, 2, and 3, and they have it remastered, which has been out on Xbox for a decade now. Like it's been forever. So the thing that I'm worried about. And I think looking at the ants and all that stuff, I think is a perfect example of like, could you imagine that trailer if Kojima was still part of it? How much better that would have been.
Oh, where it's like you didn't like the trailer.
I feel like they were trying. They were trying too hard.
Okay.
Where it was like you were doing all of it, and I get what they were doing, but it's like it just seems hollow to me. And this is me being like pessimist because I'm a firm believer. Like I think Halo was fine. I think Gears of War was fine. Well, whenever like the people left, right, and like they did their own things and stuff. And I think like franchises can still go on without their like Papa Bear type of thing. Kojima's one of these these people that like that game is so bonkers and so weird and wild, and the systems were so good because he pushed for it. And I think that people aren't gonna push in the same way. Or you're going to get, I think they need to put a named person on it of just like, okay, here's Kojima's equal, like, good luck. Because, and this, you were mentioning Resident Evil 4. Do you think that, and I think Resident Evil 4, the remake was a good game. Like, it was good. But if you look at Resident Evil 5 and 6, there was no growth there. They didn't do anything good. I think they dropped the ball multiple times. So it was like, Resident Evil 4 was about as good as they got with the Resident Evil series. Putting aside the first-person stuff, I feel like that's almost like a different, not genre, but like a different thing, right?
Sure.
So Resident Evil 4 was the last good Resident Evil third-person game. The thing with Metal Gear, you had plenty of other, I would argue, better Metal Gear games. I think Phantom Pain is the best video game of that thing. So like, if it's not going to be playing like Phantom Pain, if it's not going to have the systems like Phantom Pain and all that stuff, I don't know you can get there. And maybe people didn't like Phantom Pain as much, like right, like maybe they wanted a more concise story, or maybe they wanted like we'll see. But that's my thought on it. Is like they have a big shoes to fill. I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if like playing that now. I went through it all, and we had to do it for the last podcast. I did not enjoy it. I did it. I beat it. Didn't enjoy it at all. So like,
my only hope is that they already have the blueprint. My hope that Kojima's going away, like him not being there, that's okay. They already know what the core game is. Huge graphical upgrade. Maybe tweak the gameplay just a little bit, like they did with Resident Evil 4. Just minute changes. And spit it out. Definitely do not try to do something creative that is not already in that game, because
that's what I'm worried about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I think that they would be so. I don't think there's any way that they don't know that they can't do that.
But they have to. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, they're like, they have to take creative liberties and freedoms because the game itself is old. Like you can't rip it out and be like, okay, here's the thing, right? So like even Resident Evil did very like specific, okay, it's a different time of day, but it will get to where you remember it by the time you're getting to a certain point and different things like that. And everything was very deliberate and they can point to all that stuff. And I'm not saying that Snake Eater can't get to that point, but like Snake Eater in the grand scheme of things was a triumph when it came out, and like all the different systems, and like he's standing under a waterfall and hitting him in the head. Like, oh, that's crazy. It's interactive. But like that kind of stuff, like you're not going to get the whole like memory card thing. You're not going to get the move your clock forward a year and kill the guy before you have to take on the sniper and stuff like that. So like, how do you get around that kind of stuff? How do you reinvent these battles, these characters, these things? You have to. Otherwise, it's literally a remaster, right? If they just pick it up and just make it look better, it's not going to be good enough. So you need to improve it. Do they have that ability? And it's like, keep in mind, these are the people who are like, pachinko.
I was about to say, you actually have brought me down. I don't think they have any chance of doing that.
And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bring you down. It's just like, that's my worry.
No,
like,
but
what can you do?
I think I agree with you. Like the way that you just explained it, I'm like, oh, it just has to be half as good as. They just have to do half as good a job as what they did with Resident Evil 4. No, now I realize how wrong that statement was after
have to
hearing
do better.
it. Yeah, I don't think they can do it.
Like
I'm taking
Resident
off my
Evil was the
list.
best thing. Oh, now I feel bad. I'm just saying, like, I would love to see that triumph. I would, but that game is bonkers, and it was one dude.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
I'm not saying that other people didn't contribute and different things like that, but like, is this guy knowing what he wants to do and his mind is on another level because he is just a wild.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would say is we live in like the age of these remakes, and they have largely delivered. Like with these huge IPs, I think the creators understand how cherished these things are, and they understand the gravity. From what I've seen, I mean, we talk about Resident Evil, even Resident Evil 2, right? Like, which in my mind kind of almost kicked this kind of stuff off. I know it wasn't obviously the first one, but like Final Fantasy VII comes to mind. I think they like you could just tell how careful they were.
Final Fantasy VII is a different. Final Fantasy VII, honestly, I think is the closest parallel to Snake Eater.
Yeah.
In that
You would think
You
it was
had the-
impossible.
you would think, hey, maybe let's redo the first Metal Gear.
and like, little safer.
Let's dip our toe in, not the most beloved game
Yeah.
in this series
Yeah.
after we said that we're not into video games anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know,
Because
man.
like you look at someone like Kyle,
Yeah.
the Final Fantasy VII fans are so hardcore. And I think like, you have people who didn't like some things about the game, but I think largely it was a big success.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, you would think initially like, oh, this is going to be impossible. How do you recapture this in this day and age while still changing things and like it's not even turn-based anymore, right? So I don't know.
But the thing is,
I think there's hope.
Look how much better Metal Gear 4 was than 3.
Yeah.
In certain ways, other ways maybe it wasn't so much. Look how much better Phantom Pain was, gameplay wise, just like movement and just a modern video game. Like it just kept getting better. Where
but
like,
they did that for Resident. They started with Resident Evil 2, where Resident Evil 4 was a better game overall, like the gameplay and
Yeah.
you know what I mean, the mechanics. If that's like
but
where
it
you're going,
was completely different. What I'm saying is like they kept improving.
I see.
They kept improving Metal Gear. So like Metal Gear 3 wasn't the pinnacle of the series,
yeah,
gameplay wise,
Yeah.
maybe story wise, however you want to argue it.
yeah,
I think 5 gameplay wise was the pinnacle. So like they've already improved the systems, they've already improved the combat, the gameplay, the stealth, every aspect of it, except maybe the story and the voice acting. So like you have that where like Resident Evil 4 I think was the pinnacle of that, and then 5 was like what's going on, and then 6 is like oh god. Like so
Yeah.
I don't know. I
gotcha.
mean I can't wait to see it. I
it's a must play. It's a must play.
yeah, we'll see.
All right. Okay, so the next one is Towers of Agashba.
Yeah, Agashba.
Agashba.
Remember you have a note on that?
Aghasba. I don't. I think it was the one where they're flying around or some shit. It was so forgettable, dude.
Go to the next one. I can.
Are you sure? Was it Tower of Fantasy?
No, that's.
Oh, is that way
later.
down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tower?
I'm sorry, guys. I dropped the ball on that one. I that was such a snooze for me. I didn't even.
I don't even remember.
Yeah,
that
exactly. I think they were like flying around.
How do you spell it? Oh, never mind. I got it.
Aghasba. How do you pronounce that? Agashba. Agashba.
I think I just fell asleep during this.
Right? Like so forgettable. I'm just moving to the next one.
Sorry,
We just spent too
developers.
much time
It
anyways.
just looks like Zelda.
Yeah. And it's not better than Zelda. So.
Oh, this is you build your town and stuff.
City Builder.
Yeah,
Is it?
I screw around with these.
I
every
could
now
see
and then.
this appealing to people, and just
Yeah.
not my type of
Yeah,
game.
not me either. All right, next one, Final Fantasy 16. So we see another trailer. I know, Jeff, you turned this one off.
I did not watch this. I've seen
Spoilers.
enough of the game to be so stoked for it later
Yeah.
in June. I don't want to see any more of it. I don't want them to make the Deathloop mistake of just constantly shoving like previews down your throat. So I just hit my off button because this is definitely a must play for me. I know you guys have a little bit of concern for it, and that's valid, but I just didn't need to watch it. I'm already hyped on this game.
They always do that too, where they show way too much.
Yeah.
Every Final Fantasy. I don't know why they do that every single time.
I thought
like
it was
clockwork.
I thought it was a low quality video that they were showing. I thought everything looked bad.
I was watching on my phone. I think it's gonna be an amazing looking game because
I think 15 looked better. I don't know. Maybe I'm just misremembering.
I guarantee you this one will look better than 15.
And weirdly enough, I really wanted Final Fantasy to go back to the medieval, like fantasy-esque type thing. And I don't know if it's like Octopath scratched that itch for me, but I'm like, I kind of like the modern. I kind of like 15.
Okay.
Like 15 was pretty
you
good.
are a 15 fan.
And I
yeah.
know Kyle would cringe hearing that because I never finished it. But like I was
Yeah.
like, for what I played of 15.
Didn't even get to the good part.
Well, I thought there were plenty of good parts up to that point. Like
Yeah.
15 was cool.
Yeah.
Like 15, I like that a lot. So
Yeah.
more power to them. I mean, hopefully they do good. I know they were talking about like, should we keep numbering the? I think they should.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think there's like
definitely.
they just keep going.
Yeah.
But
I'm super stoked for this. I think this is cool. And this was like a really cool trailer because I know a lot of the complaints were like, dude, who's in your party? Like, because they were just showing the main character. And then this one was like a showcase of like, okay, here's some of the surrounding characters.
three
Ooh.
other white guys.
Yeah. There's a chick though.
Is there?
No.
Okay.
See, that was one of
Oh,
my
sorry,
biggest.
I didn't wanna-
No.
spoil it for
I don't
you.
mean that because of a spoiler. My main concern was that, like, where's the party? The party members are one of my favorite parts about Final Fantasy is the diverse cast, and that's why I really fell off of 15 because I'm like, I don't want.
15 makes it work though.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I was on for 15. I was on that train. I was getting through it, and I was on the platinum grind. I was doing everything in that game. But eventually, I was like, I'm just tired of these characters. Like
fair.
For me, I want my alien lion guy. I want Vivi. I want these icons that you think of. I can't even remember any of the names of the guys
He
from
means
15.
13.
What?
He means 13. I think is his lion guy.
No, he's talking
No,
about 10.
lines from 10.
10?
I can't remember the
Oh,
lion
jeez.
guy.
10 and 9 he was referencing.
Starts with a K, right?
I don't remember his name either.
But like the Lulu.
I just remember
or
Waka. Waka's the best.
Waka
one.
waka.
even Final Fantasy VII's awesome cast.
So we
Final
think 10's the best? Can we call it?
I need to play 6 first.
I would play 10 a long time though, so maybe.
10 is
10's in the conversation, obviously.
10 or 7 remake for me.
Okay.
I love 7 remake. All right, I'm gonna move on because we're like halfway, by the way. So.
All right, we'll go speed round. We're an hour back from the last episode. The three of us were on. So
What's that?
our last
Oh, our
episode
last
was
3 hours?
long. Yeah,
Yeah.
So we won't go that hard.
No, I think it's great conversation. That sounded super sarcastic. I did not mean it.
No, it's fine. It's great.
Next on the list is Alan Wake 2.
I could not.
I don't give a shit about this either.
Note.
we got a note.
Here we go,
This is
Jeff.
really very
you got
quick.
the floor. You got the floor.
Coming out October 17th, 2023, this year. Remedy Games, PS5, Xbox, PC. So this is a multi-console game.
Yep.
Or it's basically everywhere except for the Switch. Makes sense. The only note that I have on this is I don't do horror. I'm a wimp. I don't enjoy horror movies or games. However, I just finished Resident Evil 8. I finished Resident Evil 4. My confidence is kind of built up. I'm kind of feeling the horror.
Uh-oh.
Like I'm kind of dipping my toes in. This game looks a little too scary for me. I don't know how scary the Alan Wake games are, but because of my new confidence, I'm considering this one. That's about it. I don't know.
I think I never played them, but my understanding is it's more like a thriller-esque, not like just straight horror. Maybe I'm totally wrong.
You get some tense moments.
That's the vibe I got.
It's like, you know how like if like a necro phalange or necromorph, whatever is coming at you, and you're just like, it's kind of the same thing. Like if you hit him with the light and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay, so I know people are excited for that, so that was cool.
I laughed because I always thought that Alan Wake 2 was already out. But that's just American Nightmare. It's like a DLC.
I gotcha.
So I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, the next one on the list is Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Wow.
So snooze on this, and this is from a guy I used to love Assassin's Creed, but I can't even think of another series they have beat to death more than Assassin's Creed.
Play Odyssey.
I think that the Assassin's Creed, what's so interesting is the people that we're speaking to, the conversations we're having is a very small percentage of the gaming community, right? Like these conversations are a lot of households, they don't even happen. A lot of households, there's a new Assassin's Creed, that's a must buy for this household, or I think people are buying it. This is resonating with people. When I saw this trailer, I literally thought I didn't even realize it was the new one. I thought it was a remake of Assassin's Creed 1 or 2 just because the setting was so similar.
Yeah.
But this one's not really a hit for me either.
Well, it's going in from Origins, right? Like it's like a spin-off of that. I think it's that
so.
character.
It looks
that setting, yeah.
Like classic Assassin's Creed, which I guess is supposed to get people excited. Just like even the combat that they showed was like very old school, just smash X until you kill them all, which I loved, but yeah, I don't know, dude. I am so
until they go full stealth on Assassin's Creed, like the first game. I'm not saying the first game was perfect by any stretch, but until they go that route, Odyssey is so good.
Okay,
it's the best. I'm about to burn hours on Odyssey.
Oh my god,
I know. I'm about to.
I need to start just agreeing with you so you don't ruin my life. Okay, next one on the list is Revenant Hill, which is the one about a cat kind of moving through this thing. I was kind of confused by this. I don't know if this is like a kind of a stray thing where you're seeing this world through the eyes of like a cat. Or,
it is not.
Okay, Jeff, please enlighten me.
I don't have notes for this.
Okay.
one. I was making it quick. This is from a developer of a story-driven game. I can't remember what they did in the past, but it had a very similar art style. The cat,
like all the animals.
Yeah, it was like something in the woods.
Night in the Woods,
maybe it was Night in the Woods.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are excited about this game and talking about it. This is like I think this is one of those like feel-good indie stylized games. You probably go through a short narrative. Didn't really make my list, but I thought it looked cool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next one is Grand Blue Fantasy, which is, my understanding, is degeneracy anime time. Is my right on this? No, you guys you don't know notes.
Yeah,
I like this one.
You like this one?
This one's on my list.
This is like, people are really excited for this, right?
Yeah.
But is it like gacha game style?
No.
Okay,
no.
So it's not like
single
Genshin
player
Impact.
experience.
Okay. Okay. Take it away, Jeff.
Coming out this winter, PS5, PS4, and PC. Developer Side Games. I'm excited for this game because this more closely resembles what I want from a Final Fantasy game with the diverse characters.
Sure.
They look nowhere near as complex as Final Fantasy characters. It looks really dumbed down.
Yeah.
But this is, I think I'm pretty on board with this game as long as it scores a 7 or above. It looks like it's going to itch a JRPG type of grind that I go for every once in a while. My only concern is that if it falls into like the Tales of Arise tropes, like Tales of Destiny, one of my favorite games of all time, I have not resonated with the Tales game in a long time. The last one that came out was Tales of Arise. IGN gave it a perfect 10 out of 10.
I was going to say, Arise did well critically, right?
Yeah, it was the most trash game I ever played in my life.
How?
I could not believe how bad this game was, and IGN gave it a 10. I was mind blown. I don't want it to fall into the bad narrative trappings of what Tales of Arise did. So I'm hoping this is a diamond in the rough, just 7 and above that I can kind of spend some time with, enjoy, and be happy.
Cool.
I wish you all the best.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll dip my. I like getting a little degenerate sometimes. Maybe I had my takes on this so wrong, but that's just like what I got out of this. Okay, speaking of interesting here, I've never played a Street Fighter game in my entire life, And Street Fighter 6 makes me want to play a Street Fighter game.
Just go
dude.
play the demo, and I feel like you'll be satiated and you'll be fine.
What a smart trailer too, because it was like they're going for this like single player thing where it's like a big thing that they've been showcasing is like you make your own character and you get to interact with all these legendary characters, like characters that I know even though I've never played the games. Sounds really cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I miss Final Fantasy. Jesus, I miss Street Fighter 2. For me, if this would be one of the fighting games that I would purchase, I cannot purchase a fighting game. I am too competitive. I would be online. I would be grinding. I cannot let that time take over my life. And if I did, it would probably be more of like a Guilty Gear Strive or something from that studio. So this game, I wish it all the best. I think it looks awesome. I want to play it, but I cannot give it my time.
Interesting. Did not expect that.
Tekken 8.
Tekken 8 is not getting me as hyped as this.
No, I mean, it's fine. It's
Okay.
Tekken 8.
Although I do envy your like. That's what I miss. I just love being part of a community, like knowing the lore, and then something comes out, and you're like, "Oh my god, it's that guy who got thrown into a volcano 5 times." Love that guy. He's still alive. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I always just want to be on the in with everyone else. So I'm kind of getting hyped. That might go away real quick. You might be
I'm telling you,
right.
download the demo, and I feel like you'll be
should.
fine.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like I played the demo for like 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm not even gonna keep it installed for you. Yeah.
Okay, next one is Ultros, which is kind of like a side scroller. It was kind of like psychedelic, very colorful. Was it like cyberpunky? Would you describe it that way? It was like, I don't. You guys remembering this one?
Yeah, looks
It's
really
a platformer
really
kind of thing.
How you spell it?
Ultros. ULTROS.
Coming to PS4, PS5, PC 2024. Swedish developer Hodoku.
Did I describe that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead,
It
Jeff.
got me like a Dead Cells vibe.
Yeah.
So this game looks super appealing to me. This looks freaking rad. I love this is, we talk about art style, all the time. This is taking it to a really funky place, and I love it. Psychedelic, I have seen everyone describing it that way, and it's justified. It looks so cool. Highly encourage you look it up. Metroidvania, where you fight aliens and tend to plants, set in a cosmic uterus. That's what Rock Paper Shotgun reported. So
Sure, it's not autocorrect for a universe.
Yeah.
But it looks interesting. There's different flora that you tend to that give you different effects in the game on top of building out this character with, I assume, stat blocks and things like that. This is right up my alley. Probably this is a definite buy for me.
If it's responsive, if it has the Dead Cells, if it has an Ori and the Blind Forest, if it has Hades, that type of quick movement where it's not overly animated, and it's responsive, then I'm in. Otherwise, I get bogged down with like it doesn't feel right to me. So that'll be the make or break for me.
Okay, cool. Next one, Tower Fantasy, which Jeff talked about. I, again, didn't put notes on, so I'm totally blanking on this one. So did you have notes on this?
I played it.
Okay.
Don't play it.
Okay.
What's the 30-second pitch of it?
I had no clue that this is just Genshin.
Okay.
This is just Genshin.
This is why I did not rate it. Down.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a single player experience. I didn't even know it was out on PC already. I downloaded it, played it on stream, and it was horrendous. It was a terrible experience. I just ran around and basically talked to people and followed the prompts, and a bunch of currencies went into my bag, and they were like, "Oh, but if you spend real life money, you can get this." And I was like, "Nope."
Yep.
So don't play it.
All right. Perfect. Next one. This is a big one. Dragon's Dogma 2. I've never played it. Jeff was very excited, so I'm going to give him the floor.
Right.
I've never played them.
I thought this looked better than
sell us on it, Jeff.
16.
I don't think I can sell you on it because I never played the first one.
Okay.
But
Great start.
this I know, right? This for me was probably game of the show for me. Coming to PS5, Xbox, and PC. We don't have a date yet. I'm expecting sometime late next year or maybe even 2025 with how little we've seen of it so far. By Capcom, so Monster Hunter. I have really high confidence in the combat of this. I think it's going to be great. I think Capcom is somebody who does bombastic fights very well because of their experience with the Monster Hunter series. So I have really high hopes for it. I love the high fantasy. I love that you could be a wizard, an archer, your big bruiser. Like I'm always the guy with the big sword. I love being the guy with the big sword. So can't wait to do that. Yeah. For me, this is like a Witcher experience that isn't The Witcher, and I'm craving that. So very excited for it.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Next one is Five Nights at Freddy's. I know, Tyler, you're really excited for this. Nope.
I respect the heck out of it.
I don't. Fuck that.
I do.
Dude,
do?
anything that popular to make that bank.
I don't get it, dude. I feel like such a boomer when it comes to that.
I think it's brilliant.
People they get so
I
into
am
the lore.
horrified of the game. I will never play the game.
Yeah.
My cousin has been playing Five Night at Freddy's games since he was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
It is a huge thing with new gamers.
You can get the kids, like if you can get that, like it's like you get that Fortnite crowd.
Yep.
Like you get it's
You're
cool,
unstoppable.
and if grandma knows what Five Nights at Freddy's is,
Yeah.
you hit it big, man.
I remember I used to work at this like place where there's like this kid's place, like it's called Fun Slides, but it's like a jump zone or esque, right?
Sure.
Anyways, you would have people have a birthday party themed with Five Nights at Freddy's. That's when you know it's made it, right? Like that's crazy.
How
I
are these kids
respect
not
that.
terrified?
Yeah.
Kids are crazy, dude. They're ballsy. So yeah, but it's the lore thing. It reminds me of like Call of Duty Zombies. So like my little brother is super into zombies, and through him I learned that there's this whole lore,
It's so good.
and it's insane.
Dude, me and Chris, like way back in college, would spend hours, like keeping one zombie alive, so we could just look at every nook and cranny of every level. Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
good.
So, anyways, maybe I envy that. Maybe I want to be like I don't
There's,
know.
like,
I like being a
time
lore nerd. Yeah, no,
There's-
it's
it's like- it's like there's
I would
an-
listen to him theorize with his friends and just be lost. So,
Yeah.
anyways, next one we get into the VR segment, which I totally don't care.
I care about one thing.
Okay, so Resident Evil 4,
baby.
Oh, okay.
No, Resident Evil 4 actually pisses me off a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because I own Resident Evil 4,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, we're gonna
You have to buy it
remake-
again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not buying that again.
I thought it was already out. I saw that. I was like, wait, I thought this already shipped with
like in
the game.
development.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, Arizona Sunset 2.
That's actually kind of cool. I will say that looks dramatically. If that was actual gameplay footage, which it seemed like it was,
It wasn't.
no, I think some of it was
Cheeseburger.
I don't know.
No.
Not
They
parts of it?
tried to make it look like gameplay where he's like messing with the limbs and stuff,
Yeah,
but it was all CG.
are you sure?
Yes.
Because you can do that in the game.
I understand that.
Oh, okay.
But it was, trust me,
well,
that's
then-
why I didn't
then-
like the trailer
then
because it looked
maybe-
really weird.
Then maybe I'm less inclined to it. I thought that was all gameplay, and I'm like, this actually looks dramatically better than the first game.
I do not think I'm wrong.
The
on
first
that.
game was good. I hate the humor, but it
Yeah,
still is better than whatever that Soviet game we just played
Oh.
this year was.
Yeah.
Atomic Hearts.
Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
Oh, what a
Soviet.
boring game.
Yeah, Soviet game.
Yeah.
Anything on that, Jeff? Anything on any of these?
It did not hit with me.
Okay.
Zombies
Me
for
neither.
me are so. You're gonna troll me for this.
Overplayed.
Outside of The Last of Us, zombies are like.
No, Last of
Ow.
Us is, look, I respect it.
But
just
this
hate The
game,
Last of Us
this
2.
game was cool because it forced you to pick and choose how you were gonna take on stuff. So like,
Yeah.
you could have two guns. You were playing like throughout the entire thing with two guns and stuff, and all of a sudden you have to go into this like mine shaft, and now one of your hands has to be holding a light, and it completely changes your play style.
yeah,
and it's
creative.
like, it's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool. Yeah, it's really good.
All right, so I'm going to run through these
Yeah.
and stop me if you have thoughts. So Crossfire Sierra Squad shooter, like who cares?
At some point, so my only thing with that is at some point, I understand you have your Call of Duties, I have your thing, but like you're getting into this weird territory where it's like you are actively moving and making the motions to kill somebody. And that gets weird to me. And I don't know why that's the
Okay.
line for me, but that feels bad.
I disagree because I harken back to my arcade days where
Sure.
I'd play Time Crisis and I'd play.
No, I mean like other people.
That's fair.
Like
Well-
you're in a situation where it's like
You're still pointing at the screen, though. You're not pointing
Maybe.
at someone else, I guess. You know
You
what I
have
mean?
to
It's not like
be-
laser tag or something where you're. So, like, by that logic, laser tag's horrible because that's the same thing. Or paintball or airsoft.
well, no, because there's a difference.
Airsoft's
There's a
like-
difference. If it was paintball, it would be different. Like if
But
it's
airsoft is literally like modeled
Yeah,
after the
and
gun.
I don't,
So
I don't
you're not
love
about that.
airsoft. I'm
I know
just
you don't
saying,
love it, but do you disagree with the premise?
I disagree with the fact that if you're shooting somebody
Okay.
in a game and you're actually seeing blood or gore or whatever, and to be fair, they didn't show any of that in the trailer, at least not to my knowledge, like, then it's different. Like, we're crossing over into this threat because it's only going to get better, right?
Right.
So that's when you can start making these things where, like, you're actively, like, killing another person that you are seeing that's interacting, where if you both wanted to, you both could be waving at each other and then pulling a trigger and literally shooting them in the head and watching their head explode is where we're going to. And I don't know why that's like where my mind's at, where it's like, okay, maybe that's the line, or maybe that's where I personally feel have your game. I'm not saying that shouldn't be made. I'm just saying, like, that's maybe where I'm like, I don't feel good about this. If it's paintball, if you're shooting something else, that's a different thing. There are plenty of games where you're like throwing darts at each other and doing different things, and it's like a fun, like, gamey thing. But when you're talking like you're in a warehouse, this is a tactical thing. Stuff that like my cousin would love, Nate would love. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have that. That's where I lose like the quote unquote fun gun, like the game part of it. And now it's like you're doing drills and stuff that I can't connect to.
I think it
That's all.
harkens back to the Grand Theft Auto 5 torture scene and how much controversy came from that, because that's not meant to be a fun scene. That's meant to invoke a reaction, just like you said. An emotion and a feeling is invoked by making that action, and sometimes it doesn't feel good. And
But now instead of pressing a button, you're
Right.
literally holding it and
It's a
stabbing
step
it.
further.
Yeah.
so like you said, the product can exist. It's invoking something as a response, and I don't think it would be a good one for me either to experience. This one is a pass for me.
Yeah.
For similar reasons.
And I'm not on a high horse. Like, I don't want to
No,
make it sound
no,
like that. It's just like
I respect that.
you can literally Call of Duty cannot train you to go shoot up something. VR, well, I'm not saying it can now. You can aim in VR. You can practice things in VR. You can, like, it starts getting a little weird.
I feel you.
So that's, I don't know.
I don't know if I share that sentiment, but I respect what you're saying, and
Again, I'm
I
looking
can,
more
I can see
future.
that. Yeah, no,
I
I get that. Yeah. Okay, so the next one was Synapse, kind of this weird thing where you go into someone's brain and then shooting his.
I probably zoom
Yeah, I don't
down on
know.
that one.
I will say with this one, if I could, real quick, and I know we're getting a little bit over here, the voice acting in this trailer was fantastic.
I might need to go
Out
watch
of
it again because I don't remember. this
nowhere?
one.
I gotta look it up.
Jennifer Hale is in this, and then the dude who's the villain, amazing voice acting in this game that I'm never gonna play in my life. So that was just kind of strange for me.
Is this something that was already out and it's just coming again? And
I don't think so, but my
Oh
knowledge
yeah.
was it out?
No,
Okay.
this. So they showed this before though.
Okay.
Yes, I'm actually. That would
Jennifer
be, that would
Hale's
be
in
cool.
this. Did I get that
Oh,
right?
I don't know.
I thought I heard Commander Shepard. So,
Oh, probably.
anyways, yeah, I don't know. I just want to point that
Cool.
out. And then what Tyler's excited for: Beat Saber Queen. Ruined everyone's stream. If you're streaming this, totally ruined.
Yeah, right. So as somebody who owns every single piece of downloadable content for Beat Saber, and when I say every piece, I mean every single piece, they need to have something that transfers your purchase between things. I understand why and all the licensing and Rock Band and everything ran into this a million times over, but like, I'm never going to, like, this could look way better than all the other. I'm never going to switch over to this because I'm so invested in my Quest. That's why I'm not even playing on like Steam or anything, because like all my purchases are on my Quest. So until they have some sort of like movement there,
Yeah.
I want to get excited, but I can't because it doesn't it doesn't matter. I'm not
that
going to.
sucks.
Yeah.
No thoughts on this?
I have never played Beat Saber in my entire
Me neither.
life.
So good.
It appeals to me greatly. I think I'm being stingy and trying to vote with my wallet on VR, where I don't want to support it until I see that vision of what I want VR to be, and I haven't seen any game that deliver on that vision, or maybe Half-Life Alyx. Like, if I had VR, I would only have Half-Life Alyx and probably Beat Saber. If I had VR, I would be into it. I love Queen. I was rocking, but it's just not really in my deck of cards right now.
It's still a novelty right now. Everyone I know who gets VR, excited at first, fun at first, then they just
The controllers suck.
It just sits there for everyone I know who has it. So it's like, yeah, I think Half-Life Alyx is the only like
Must play.
yeah, exactly. So
See, I think Beats like you're right, and there are
Yeah,
plenty
Beat
of other
Saber-
things
Beat
too.
Saber's
Like
up
there's
there,
Pistol
too.
Whip, and there
Yeah.
I could give you a whole list of like these are.
but like Half-Life Alyx, I don't know why I can't get that out, is like the only one where it's like, okay, this is the potential. Like I can see the future.
Let me
a little
put it
bit
this
here.
way: the list of you have to play these games was the same 8 years ago. Whenever Steam came out with like, I'm not even joking.
No,
like,
no,
yeah.
like 90% of them are identical. I'm
Yeah.
not saying other games haven't iterated or their sequels aren't out, but it's like the same freaking thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that they raised the price $100 for like inflation or whatever, but like all I want are the Quest 1's controls, like the controllers, because they're just better. They feel better. They're weighted more properly, and put it on the Quest 2 headset, and it won't do it. So like the Quest 2, I just don't play because it's so uncomfortable to play, because I spent however many years getting good at the first ones. I feel like a klutz now, and I hate it.
I got you.
But I'm going to play some Queen, so whatever. And I can paint the bunny.
Last thing I'll say on that, Queen might be the greatest band of all time. So I'm just going to put that out there.
Fall Out Boy's also on there. And Panic at the Disco.
Okay. Not as good as Queen, but yeah.
I think Billie Eilish is on there
Still
too.
good. Anyways,
Trying to think all the new ones.
yeah.
Dude,
Marathon.
What was the... Okay, well, we can go to Marathon. That's fine.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah, what's the one that I always want to rank her top songs?
Adele.
Adele. Adele needs to be on Beat Saber, and then we're good.
She's too expensive, bro.
You can't do it.
Jeff, I'm going to turn this one to you. I know that you were talking about this last night. Let's hear your thoughts on Marathon.
I'm going to start off really odd placement of where they put this trailer in the showcase. We'll get to that after we talk about the next game. But Marathon, developed by Bungie, it's their first new project in over a decade. Very excited for the Bungie team. I don't think anything. I think they needed it. I think the Bungie team needed a change. They needed that injection of passion into their arm. And this is it. This game came out in 1994, before John was born, on iOS. This is a PvP extraction shooter. I don't know how, but they have my attention so... Like, I want this game now so bad. Halo 3, for me, was my epitome of shooters. I love Halo. I feel like it's balanced. It's the time to kill for me is like perfect in Halo. I want to see what they're doing with this extraction premise. I thought the trailer was super stylish. When you see the Bungie name on the wall, I flipped out. I thought it was Marathon not right from the get-go, but as soon as we saw the characters and then they went down, I'm like, oh, is this Marathon? I think it looks absolutely awesome, even though we haven't seen it. I have full confidence in the Bungie team and their ability to make this game. I can't wait to see more.
I wonder if they feel like, man, I wish we had another shot at Halo. With everything that Halo's been and everything, and like you're looking at your Marathon, you're looking at your like library of work on like what can you revive and do different things. I wonder if there's a universe where it's just like, man, if we could just like let's just throw something together and just be like, hey, if we could do Halo, this is what we would do. Like, wouldn't this be cool? Like, or something that I would love to see what that looked like. But I'm with you. I've never played Marathon. I was actually before my time. Like, it was just didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we need something. So you said this was across all systems, right?
This is PS5 and PC, but
okay.
with full crossover between those two.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, more power to them. I wonder how this impacts. Well, I guess we'll talk about that next. Is the next game Destiny?
The next game is on my list is Concord, but
it's Destiny.
Do we want to talk about Destiny 2 real quick too?
You have the floor, my friend.
I don't care about Destiny 2, so
That
I want
is
to.
exactly
I forget what. Do you remember what it's called? What was the actual title?
It
was
it's like the last triangle or something. Is it?
Last Triangle.
It's something goofy like
It's
that.
the last something. I don't think it's
like the last
triangle.
shape, or is it last shape?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, I was close.
Actually, last
Triangle is a
triangle
shape.
sounds better. Yeah.
The last triangle.
No, you're
was-
right.
The triangle was a shape. Confirmed.
Yeah, Cade 6 coming back, cool. Or Cade 7 or whatever it is.
I've never
Whatever
been
Ryan was
into
talking about.
Destiny, bro.
Look, man, I like Nathan Fillion as much as the next guy, but I don't
Time to put it to bed.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like where I don't know if they were talking about Destiny when it's like they were almost shooting themselves in the foot because they're like, where to begin? We killed gods and we did all of this and we did this. And like, dude, you're not selling this. All you're doing is telling me you missed too much. You're never going to know what the heck is up.
Yeah.
Don't even bother. Save your money is really what that trailer was. I thought they were going to do something like we finally got to a place where it's just like it all comes down to this, or like some way to be like, look, whatever you think Destiny 2 is, everything that's all happened or whatever, it's coming to this moment. The field is flat. Here is where you enter. You are on the same playing ground as everyone else. Yeah, like they might have looked better than you or whatever, but it's like, this is the point. Here's good. Here's evil. Enjoy the finale of this 10-year series or whatever. That's what I thought they were going for, and it turned out like,
Don't even bother.
nah.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay.
You're
So
exactly
they had me
right,
for
yeah.
a second, and then I'm like, I don't care.
I really wish I would play Destiny. I think what you just said is a perfect synopsis. I don't know how to enter this game.
I tried every year, every
It is-
expansion.
It's so intimidating to me. I've maybe tried one time. I was like, I can't access this game. This feels inaccessible. So I probably would be that like every 3 seasons, probably logging on and having fun, but they don't make it possible. So as much as I look at it, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in the story. I love the gameplay of Destiny. I would love to be able to jump into that world, but I can't.
Well, that's why. So that's kind of going full circle, where it's like, okay, that seems very final. It seems like maybe Destiny 2 is like, maybe you're hanging out for a little bit. Maybe you take a break or whatever, which would be great if they then focused on Marathon and made Marathon the next thing, where like bring all that amazing shooting and gunplay and everything to Marathon, where it just feels so good. Awesome. Like I'm all for that, but yeah, I don't know, man.
All right. Next on the list is Concord. Did you have a note on this, Jeff?
I did have a note in this,
All
and
right.
this is where my Marathon comment comes into play. I was really weirded out by how they went Marathon, Destiny, and then Concord. I thought they would have separated these 3 IPs, but they didn't. So Concord has kind of been teased for a little bit now. It's coming to PS5 and PC. It's by Firewalk Studios. So this is Firewalk Studios' first game. If you're not familiar with who Firewalk Studio is, it was basically a bunch of people from the creators of Mass Effect, Destiny, Call of Duty, Halo, Apex Legends came together, found this studio, and they're making a PvP shooter. So this is a game that is definitely going to try to compete with that time slot, try to grab people off of Apex Legends, off of Call of Duty, off of Destiny, and say, no, you want to come play our shooter. So I'm very interested to see what they deliver on. The trailer, to me, I was very confused about.
I'm watching it again, and I'm like, I remember that burger, and I'm like, how is this?
The burger
How do you
was
even know what it is?
Exactly. So I had to look it up. I was like,
Yeah,
and I
okay.
still don't understand it. I thought the details in the trailer were cool. I didn't read the PlayStation blog about this one, so maybe I'm just misunderstanding some of the details in the trailer. I'm just excited to see what this does. Does this have an impact on the gaming sphere as we know? Is this going to be up there on the top stream games on Twitch? I don't know. I'm just interested to see them do a Marathon trailer, Destiny, and then Concord, which are 3 games that are basically competing for that time. I keep saying that over and over again, but just those 3 games, like which one are you going to play? You probably can't play all of them because it takes too much time.
Yeah, and which does Sony have more of a vested interest in?
Correct.
I would say anything Bungie,
Yeah.
where if you spend was it 16 billion or whatever they spent on it? 11 billion? Or was that Bethesda? I don't know. I get those confused.
Bethesda.
Maybe it was 8. I don't know.
It wasn't that much because Sony doesn't have that much money.
Couple billion though. Like
it was in the billions.
Yeah. So like, I feel like you maybe pump up Marathon and just see what's going on. Yeah. All right. Well.
All right. Next two are probably skips. I think it's a Gran Turismo movie. Did I understand that correctly?
Dude, I don't.
Like, what the fuck?
I was
is
really
that?
confused by this because I thought there was a Gran Turismo TV show coming to Peacock, and this is a movie.
It's like a movie.
So then it made me second guess. Wait, is there a TV show?
I have
I
no
don't know.
idea.
I don't know either.
Not gonna watch it. That's okay.
I'll probably
I
see
don't
this
care.
movie.
Really?
Wow.
Let me know how it is, man.
Yeah.
Mostly because
Good
there's a GTR like headlining it, like one of my dream cars. So I don't know.
I'm with you, but just play the game. You get to drive
Or
the
take that
GTR.
$18 for the ticket, put it in a savings account, and maybe buy one for yourself someday.
Yeah.
So
watch it grow.
this movie's about a gamer who won a Gran Turismo tournament and was offered like a driving session on a track and was so good at the game that his skills translated to the track and he became a race car driver. It's a real life story. I'm kind of interested in it.
It's a real life story.
This is a real life story.
That's
So
crazy.
I don't know. I don't have high hopes for it, but you know, I like to dabble in the film versions of video games, and I just want to kind of track studios.
So, just to be clear, when you say it's a real life story, you're not saying this is a live action thing because we know it's live action. You're
No,
saying
this
that
is a real
true
life story. This happened
that
in the-
happened in
yes.
real life. That's nuts.
That actually has piqued my interest.
Yeah.
That's
okay, so it sounds better than
insane.
And
Yeah.
I'm also just interested in tracking Sony's forte into bringing these very traditional IPs into cinema, TV, because they already did Last of Us. They're now Gran Turismo. They're doing Twisted Metal. So I want to see how it goes.
That's a good point. Yeah. Wow. Jeff just kind of reviving some of these things I was sleeping on. The next one, good luck with this, Project Q, which is like I said Steam Deck. Tyler described it as a Switch-like thing for the PlayStation. Oh, and earbuds.
Oh, me? I don't understand the earbuds. I don't know. I don't understand.
I was flipping
Maybe-
it over to you because you've been like, I've been down on a lot of these things, and you explain, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I was like, try this.
Maybe.
You won't get here. Don't give a
Maybe
fuck
there
about
are
this.
people who game with headbuds. I have never done it. I will say the only thing that gets me here is
Headbuds.
are these Bluetooth and do they connect to PS5? Because we still cannot connect wireless
headphones.
Jesus, I can't say it. Earbuds to the
Earbuds, yeah.
PS5 via
Oh,
Bluetooth.
really?
That is not a functionality. So if this is a functionality,
It has to be because
Actually
it
changed-
connects to
yeah.
your phone. So it has to be Bluetooth capable.
This is big. If this is a wireless audio option for your PS5, this will sell. I might
Okay.
purchase these. There are a number of times where I came in where I was like, I wish
There's
I could
not
just
a wireless audio option for the PS5?
There's not a wireless option.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Not to call you a liar on the air, but it just seems like that seems
Well, you guys are the techies. I would be the one to be wrong about this.
No, you could be 100% right for like Bluetooth. I could see it as like maybe like a dual band thing where it's like they're still going with it because like they're obviously PS5 has wireless built into it because you have obviously like wireless controllers. So I wonder if they have their own proprietary wireless thing, which is what Xbox 360 did, and then Xbox changed to Bluetooth. But
I
don't
would,
know.
yeah, you do some research, put it on the next
Okay.
couch show, because I'm curious. If there's an answer, I want to know because I need to purchase that option. I know the PS5 recognizes all Bluetooth devices, but when you go to connect, there's some kind of internal error. So if you have an option for me, fantastic. The Project Q, I was super hyped on this until people kind of brought me down to earth and were like, dude, you can already do that. You just need to use your iPad. And I was like, what? You could do that with your iPad?
Yeah, but so what? Like, you're not going to do that. I know some people do, and like, it's like, well, I do that with my iPad now. And like, sure, but imagine your iPad had a DualShock controller strapped to it. Like, it's the convenience. It's not a smart thing, but it's the convenience of it where it's like, I want to lounge on my couch. I don't want to sit in front of, well, I guess with PlayStation is a little bit different, but let's say you have your PlayStation next to your computer. And like that's where I have my Switch set up. And it's like, I want to play Zelda on my couch. pop it off the dock, play on your couch. So you can kind of do that too. I don't know.
You think it'll be successful?
I think the people that have a use for it, it will be great. Like
Yeah.
put it next to your bed, put it next to a different room, whatever. If your spouse is on the TV and you just want to play it or whatever, it's like that's what that's for. Or parents and kids and different things. I think there's definitely a use for it.
Yeah.
I just think that people that want literally a Switch or people that want a traveling companion, yes, they're going to be disappointed. But I don't like that's not what this is. This is a convenience like BS like Wii U
Yeah.
type of thing. That's all that is.
I'll be sold once I know the screen specs.
Yeah, like OLED or whatever.
Yeah, for me, where this would come big is as a streamer, my PlayStation is constantly hooked up to my capture card. And one of my biggest complaints about streaming is I miss my big screen. I miss my LG that made every single game that I put on it, like in my opinion, look amazing. And my computer monitor does not have that effect. I feel like when I plug in my PlayStation 5 to my computer, I see a dip in quality. So if this can deliver a similar view of what I saw on my big screen in 8-inch form with a high quality screen resolution, I'm sold, because I am not going to be unplugging my PlayStation from my PC and streaming setup, taking it to the TV every time I want to switch. If I can just, like you said, luxury, I'm laying down, I'm going downstairs, I'm going into bed, and I can just pop on and play a game that I want to play off stream in a good picture, I'm sold.
Yep.
Cool. All right, last, certainly not least, my personal showcase of the event, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I was bait and switched.
What do you mean?
I thought it was a game about Kraven, the hunter.
What?
You know the guy in the very beginning of the trailer?
Yeah.
Kraven,
Yeah.
the hunter.
Well, I didn't know. So that's a character from the comics?
Yeah, and like that was from the Amazing Spider-Man TV show
Yeah.
and everything. And
I did not know who that was. People were freaking the fuck out.
I was so excited because I'm like, that's what I want. I want and I keep bringing up stealth games, but I'm just so mad that Gollum sucks. I'm like, Kraven could be such a sick,
I see what you're saying.
like prowling, like just
Yeah.
that would be such a cool character to
But
to play
he's the
as.
villain,
He's a villain, yeah.
which I think is cool.
Yeah, so I got really hyped, and it still was a cool trailer, and I'll let you guys talk about it, but it was just like, I was so excited. And then for it to be like, because he's like, oh, I guess I'm going to go to Spider-Man. I'm like, it's a sweet spin-off, like kind of like almost like a Miles Morales like type of thing. It's like, nah, this is like Spider-Man 2.
Okay, Jeff.
Yeah.
This trailer did not really hit for me.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
I'm super hyped. Don't get me wrong. Super hyped for Spider-Man 2. Definitely going to play it. Already, day one purchase. I don't need to see the reviews, but for some reason, this trailer, I don't know what is missing. I was a little bit confused by it as well, where they're showing like this picture on a tablet to Kraven, and it's like, oh, the next big hunt, and it's Spider-Man, and then they get down to Earth or wherever they're traveling from, and then they're hunting like lizard guy. I don't know why I can't remember the lizard's enemy name, the bad guy.
It's called The Lizard.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
His name's the Lizard.
Yeah, Kirk Connors. Lizard.
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Spider-Man doesn't have that good of villains. Like they're fine.
well, but they
You know the
not
guy that shocks
inspired.
people? Shocker. You know the guy with 8 arms?
Doc Ock.
Dr.
At
Octopus.
least he's a doctor.
You know the really mysterious guy with a fishbowl on his head? All right, I'll stop.
I loved it.
Just Rudy
You know the guy that looks like a scorpion?
Scorpy.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know why.
You know the rhinoceros? Tell me I'm wrong. I don't know.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I don't know why that theyrew me off so much. Like, why are they after the lizard? I was confused when I thought they were hunting Spider-Man. I don't know why, but I wasn't gelling with the Venom suit.
Interesting.
I liked the subtlety of that.
Yeah.
Actually, I liked how he was. And I don't know how far into that game was, but like if you watch the cartoon, he was super pumped for the suit. He's like, "This is the coolest thing ever," and he just got like progressively more aggressive and more like whatever. So all the little subtle things where like he saves a guy, but then like throws him,
Throws him.
Yeah.
and like
I noticed that too.
Obviously, it's framed and it's like you're supposed to notice it, but like over the scheme of the trailer, that was a subtle thing. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, so depending on how that works, it could be neat. I don't know.
I can't really put my finger on why this didn't do it for me. I'm pumped for the game. I love Miles. I love the first one. Platinum, the first one was on my way to Platinum. The second one, and I can't remember what came out, but I started. Oh, never mind. I remember. But yeah, I don't know. The trailer, I feel like a Debbie Downer. I don't really know why.
I was super hyped. Personally.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it, John.
Okay, I will say my one criticism. I think it was too long. It's very long.
It was like 12
and I was
minutes.
like, and you were talking about this yesterday. It was like, would I have rather experienced this than? But now I know this whole sequence, so I'm trying to do a positive spin where it's like, oh, they feel comfortable showing this, which means I can't wait for what else, because that was pretty hype. It was a pretty awesome sequence. I don't know. This got me excited. Like, back in Spider-Man, the combat still looks awesome. I liked the Venom stuff. Like, he's throwing people around, like 4 people at a time. I thought it was really cool.
It's a good way to differentiate. Like, okay, you're gonna be playing between all these characters. They have to have
Yes.
very different movesets. Otherwise,
Yes.
because like, I haven't finished Miles Morales, but it's like there's still some. It's there.
Yeah.
Like, so like, if it's Venom, like, by all means, like, go for it. Like,
Yeah, no. I like that. He's switching to Miles, which is super cool. I like that dynamic. Like you were saying, the Venom arc's like always so awesome, like Spider-Man 3. Great movie. Where it's like, yeah, we kind of see this descent from Peter. I love how I just hear Sasuke now because he's getting super edgy. So it's like same voice actor. So that's funny. But yeah, I just thought it was super cool. I'm hyped. The first game was amazing, obviously, and then this one just got me there. My only criticism, maybe a little too long, and I wish I knew who the guy. I didn't even know who Kraven was. Well, I'm not a huge Marvel guy, so it's like
it's weird because like in the cartoon, and I might be, no, I don't think I'm misremembering, but it was like when Peter Parker got the 6 arms, because that was like before he was like turning into like a freaking spider.
Yeah.
It was him and Morbius that like saved him. So like it was like these weird, like the villains are like actually like tackling him and like injecting him with like a serum and stuff. So like I don't know, man. Like they could go some like if this is like an Arkham City type of thing, which I was getting excited about, where I thought the biggest issue I had with Spider-Man 1 was like, why do you have a new character, like a new villain? Like you have all these greatly named other villains to pick from.
Yeah.
Why make a new person?
yeah,
So if Spider-Man 2 can really dial in on like get Kingpin going, get all like Smythe and all, like if you just get all of the rogue gallery in there, I think that'd be
you have the
awesome.
material.
Yeah.
You have the material, which
so
is yeah.
which is what Arkham City did, where Arkham City
Right.
was just pulling
Yep.
from like, okay, you here's a twist, like
Yep.
that'd be sick because like you
100%.
already Spider-Man, you did the arc of like, what, Doc Ock's a bad guy? Oh no! Like now it's like, okay, what's driving everybody? I think that could be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, I'm hyped. I mean,
It
this
was
game's
very
gonna be great.
Uncharted 4. Like
Okay.
Uncharted 4 had the same 20-minute
Yeah.
slice that was like, look how crazy this thing is. And when you play through Uncharted 4, there's 25
Yep.
other
That's the
crazy
vibe
set
I get.
pieces.
That's
And
the
it
vibe I
still is way different playing that than watching it. It might be the same, but trust me, when you're playing it, it's like you're not going to be as like fluid as the guy that built the game and is running it through for the 20th time.
Right.
I don't know.
I think something notable that I did notice from this trailer was no release date.
Yeah.
So they gave fall. I was very, very surprised that the game this far along did not give a specific release date. And I'm not saying it's going to get delayed, but I think we should be watching for when this game goes gold, because that was I was like, why did they not
Did
give a release
Starfield
date?
get a new release date?
No.
That maybe.
But we're thinking, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're
yeah.
doing it, it's like, yeah, that's right, dude. It could be in the vault, ready to go right now. But until you find out when Starfield's coming
Don't wanna
out, it's just
compete.
like, let's wait for Microsoft to do their thing next month or whatever it is, and then we'll lay ours down, and then you have Zelda, Starfield, and Spider-Man, and duke it out.
Awesome comment.
Yeah.
That definitely could be it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Look, or they wait and they're like, this game really needs like another maybe 6 months. But if we have Microsoft on the ropes, we need to hammer them. Yeah. Or maybe, dude, this is how cynical I am. Maybe they're waiting to see if so the EU passed the merger for Microsoft. Maybe they're still waiting on the FCC. They're waiting on let's see all this other FTC Trade Commission, right?
I don't know.
I don't know what it is in Europe.
I don't know, whatever. No, for here.
Oh.
Is it FTC or FCC? FTC.
FCC is something else.
Yeah, FTC. So
FTC, yeah.
anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about, but they're waiting. There's all right, let's see what happens, because then it's like, okay, we'll delay Spider-Man for 6 months. Please don't let them merge.
Yeah.
Please, government. That's cynical. I don't even know if that's even a thing or a possibility, but that's where my mind's at, where it's everything isn't about the consumer or the game or the quality of it. It's all how can we manipulate our standing within the marketplace. I don't want to end on that note. That's a really low.
That's my pay grade.
We want to talk about things that we wish were in the conference that maybe wasn't. I heard Bloodborne was coming around again for the 20th freaking time. Didn't happen.
I just wanted to see Ghost of Tsushima 2. I'm pretty sure they announced that it wasn't going to be there. I've been looking to see this game announced for so long. That was really my hope, but
mine was Wolverine.
Wolverine?
Yeah.
Mine was FF7 Rebirth.
Okay.
I'm so hyped for that, but it makes sense. 16's not out. That's going to get the spotlight.
Yeah.
We've seen so much of that fucking game.
Too much.
Too much. Every time they do this, I get...
Dude, that's going to be like a 70-hour game. You saw...
I'm so hyped
5
for it,
minutes
dude.
of it.
I'm so hyped for it. Oh, it looks so cool. Like the last trailer they did for that, where they're going into your home base thing and how they're gonna give you the lore. It's you're unlocking sections of the lore. And
don't give him any spoilers, man.
No, you watched that one. Uh-oh.
You're good. You're good.
It was super cool. I think this one was cool too because it was your complaint. It was all about the party. Anyways,
Yeah.
I digress. The showcase was cool. I would give it maybe an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah, it was good.
But didn't blow my dick off, but it was solid.
Yeah. I don't think there was anything I was
Yeah.
oh, this has to be.
A lot of it was expected, right?
Tell you what. The most disappointment I had was Cat Quest. I'm just gonna say it. It really was. It really out of every single trailer that was 2024, 2024, 2024, fall, whatever. I was okay, all
More
right,
disappointing than the Spider-Man one, where you thought it was Craven.
After all said and done, yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Because
that's hilarious.
Craven, it was oh, that'd be sick.
Pirates of the
And then
Caribbean.
it wasn't Cat Quest. I had to watch the entire trailer,
Get hyped.
and then be
Boom.
next year.
Yep,
It's dude,
see
you
ya. Maybe
it
it's
should
just-
be the whole game. It's all right there.
It's probably early next year, though. If that gives you any solace.
Hopefully. I just thought that they would drop something like Microsoft does, where it's play it today. Nintendo and Microsoft do that a really great job with that. Hi-Fi Rush? You kidding me?
Yeah, that was awesome.
You kidding
That
me?
was cool.
They started the year off strong, man,
Yeah.
but now
Well,
we're
we don't
losing
talk
steam.
about that.
Microsoft has pressure, dude.
We did play Redfall. We didn't talk
I'm
about that
sorry
yet.
about that.
So bad.
Yeah.
And
At least it was on Game Pass.
I lost all my progress.
Oh, nice.
So I hosted the game.
Solidified it
Everyone
for him.
quit, and then I quit. I lose all my progress.
Oh,
So that was
no.
2.5 hours of they all kept all their stuff.
Yep.
I got nothing.
That's crazy.
Nothing. So and it's not so other people were well, sometimes you you might lose your progress, but you keep your guns and experience. I got nothing. Uninstalled
What a
immediately. It was
boring
never
game,
did it.
dude.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to do it on the bad note. I'm sorry.
I will
Thanks
give
for coming,
this.
Joe.
I would give this showcase a 9.5.
Whoa.
This is probably the most exciting show I've seen since that E3 where they originally announced the Final Fantasy VII remake, and it was I don't know if there was a Cyberpunk reveal at that one too, but there was 3 really big reveals at that E3. Final Fantasy remake being one of them. I thought that this was so well done. Hit all their marks. They hit even just us going through the games. They hit a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
They hit a lot of different kind of games. They hit their indies, their Metroidvanias, their free to play shit that nobody's going to play. Well, actually, a lot of people are going to play. We're not going to play. They even snuck in their move into cinema and TV. I just thought it was so well done. They did a little bit of a hardware reveal. I think it shows developers' willingness to work with Sony and the Sony platform. We're seeing a lot of announcements, some of it was expected, but some of these were just, we've never saw these games before. So what is Xbox going to do? A lot of these games are coming to Xbox, but it makes a difference knowing that Sony revealed them. It shows that partners want to put their game on a Sony showcase. They trust Sony's platform and they trust their players. I also love that there was a lot of developers from different countries. We've got a Chinese developer in there, a Swedish developer in there. Love that. We're seeing a lot of PS5 plus PC releases, which I think is really great for Sony. They're usually the hardest ones to play ball. They're putting a huge initiative behind their PC market. They're trying to make more money off of PC with their IP. I'm really glad that they're starting to share their IPs more. That was huge for me. So for me, this was an awesome showcase.
Awesome.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, I think with Microsoft, it's like, look, they know they have to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Even if you gave like a 9.5 out of Microsoft, like for Microsoft too, like it's still not like
They had to one up them.
Yeah, they're so behind from recent stuff where it's like
I have zero faith.
If they can't do something amazing, like it's going to be worse than if Redfall was fine, or if everything was just like middling or whatever and it was all like good. Then they could maybe get away with something that's a bit like, man, I don't envy them at all.
No. You know, and I don't want to come off as like a PlayStation fanboy because I'm not. Xbox 360, probably my favorite console of all time. I thought it was revolutionary. You don't get the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 without the innovation that Xbox 360 brought at that time. I'm rooting for Xbox. I want them to have a spectacular lineup of games coming in 2024. Based off of the Phil interview, I think they're not in a good place.
They're in trouble.
See, I took it differently. I took it as like, if they can just get through this, like I almost look at it like they're running through like a football training course, and all the critics and people on the internet and stuff are just beating them to death as they're like just getting through everything. If they can just come out the side without fumbling the ball or without like just falling on the ground, then it's like, here's your Fable and your, dude, I don't even know what else is coming out. Like, like here are all the games that like of all the studios we bought and promised you and different things like that. But
yeah, I sincerely hope as well they do, because competition's always good. And we get the best stuff when those two are at the top of their game.
If they put all their eggs in the Blizzard basket, which I mean, that's 69 billion eggs, like that worries me. Yeah. Where if you divert everything to that and like your focus is on that you're losing your focus on, hey, maybe Redfall's developers could have used some extra help here or do this. Like Redfall is beyond saving. So I know people are like, oh, you could get the 60 frames. Like, give it 120 frames. You're not saving that game. The fundamentals of that game are bad. So it's just like, put it aside, move on. Starfield better be great.
I think they're moving past Redfall pretty swiftly. I think
yes.
they did a good job, just kind of, like you said, not sweeping it under the rug, but hey, it is what it is. Let's focus on moving forward. Let's focus on Starfall. God, please, I hope they bring something. I hope something new.
Well, with that being said, thanks for joining us, Jeff. We always love having you on.
Thank you.
The discussion is inspired, and it ignites my passion for games. Just listening to you talk about games gets me hyped. There's a lot of things I wasn't even considering where you talk about the background of it, the research that you put into it gets me more hyped than the trailers. So
you guys get me hyped too.
I'm glad to hear that.
I feel like we did. I feel like a lot of us were like, I'm down on this. Like, well, what about this?
Yeah. And then we're like, so that was awesome. So I enjoyed that conversation. For everyone listening, if you made it this far, awesome. Check out Jeff, What Killed Jeff, twitch.tv/WhatKilledJeff. He streams Monday through Friday.
Correct.
1 to 6, I think, are his new hours.
It's 1 to 6 and somewhere in between.
Yeah. So super fun stream. I try to tune in when I can. Jeff's got great takes on games, the passion for games. Love it. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to be here same time, same place.
Yeah, if you want to see our stuff too, it's couchcompany.games. You do you. You messed up the intro, you may as well mess up the ending
Outro.
too.
My brain is fried. Anyways, thanks for joining us on the couch. We'll see you next week. Peace.